Monica, someone try. Oh,
Hey, my black beauty, sister Kitty, here, welcome. Hello, my beautiful sister, Kelly, Shirley, welcome. My dear brother, welcome. Hey. Hello, sister I'm telling you, Sam, I have like, it's necessary, eh? Thank you, Ben. No, 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 no. Right. Welcome. Brother Z, Okoku, welcome. Hey. Brother Allen, Bobby, welcome. Hey. Let's go to the next song. Hey, Dana, Dana.
Show me love.
Hey, hey. Hello, my beauty sister, Claudia Real Empire. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we greet you back. Hi, G. Brother Victor Kwanjo. And welcome. Brother Felix Nessie.
I like it.
And you know, when I'm sorry, I will get myself in trouble, so I will sit there. Brother Foster, that's the welcome. Thank you, Brother Ray McFadden, welcome. Long time no see. Brother Steven 60. Hello. Yes. My black beauty. Motivational. Strong will. Knowledgeable sister. I'm a Muslim. Welcome. Thank you, brother. Please share and invite. You sure, sis? I'm telling you, sis, you're right on the point, Hey, Michael, Challenger, welcome. Evangelist, Jerry, welcome. Hey, let's go to Chocho Muncho. Into Yanko Chocho Muncho. But if you want a pot of cream or then we'll start the discussion. Hey. Hey, me is sexy and bad and so you are too sexy and bad too, Hey, so what happened? Hey, my junior brother, Samuel B. Mensah. Hey, I'm the oldest. Bro, who am you can you, Because when you look picture now, they will think you older than me. I'm the oldest. Way older. I guess got distracted for a minute. But no, now chocolate. A woman with no husband. He's looking for a woman with no husband. Or a lady with no husband. Some people are dangerous. Hey, my main man. Wednesday, I didn't play for Grandchildren. Today, yeah. TJB. Mr. Music Man. King of Love Song. Hey.
I'm the supreme king of all songs. And like a giant to things, it can get me out of the reason. If me drop bad guy, if me drop bad guy.
My Black Beauty sister Nana, I'm welcome. Hey, brother, for your friend, welcome.
I can do it better. I'm better for I'm better for
Beautiful sister Regina.
when I try to do what I do, I'm better for about my decision. They have feet, let them wear it. They have feet, let them wear it. They have feet, let them wear it. Yeah, I'm talking about. I'm for sure. I'm for sure. I'm for sure. I'm for sure. I'm bad. Michael Jackson's the body of bad. Muhammad Ali's the boy of the greatest. Every president so good at the king. Yeah, I'm just running in the video. Yeah, I'm just running in the video. She can't. I'm alive. Forever the see I am God. Cristiano Ronaldo in the streets.
I'm the sweetest, eh?
When I overhear city, the alpha was here. Man, we'll go grab a straight and sorry. Never kiss you. Yeah, better to be I'm the supreme king of love songs. Oh, wait, let them wear it. They have it. Let them wear it. They have it. Let them wear it. Get into your love. I'm for sure. I'm for sure. I'm for sure. I'm for sure. I'm fashion. 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 I'm fashion.
Hey. Hey. You nyame extra no me money bia. Baby that. Okay. Hello to all my friends and family supporters, everyone. Welcome. Yes, normally I'm not on Friday, but Wednesday when we did this program, Hookup culture, it's a broadened topic, so we definitely had to bring a part 2. Who knows? There might be another part. So it depends on how much we get done today, how much information we are able to share. And then if something else jumps out, then we make a topic out of it. Everyone is welcome to share their views in regards to hookup culture, which is casual sex. I put the definition up for everyone who comes on to read it. So, but I'm going to read it out loud for all of us to hear it. I put that up on the part 1 also. So when you have time, you can go and watch part 1 because there was a lot of information share, knowledgeable wisdom in that program part 1. I have my beautiful sister Cecilia, who came on, my executive producer, Sister Yvette, and Mr. Lee Patterson, and then Sister Akosia William. They all share a really important information. And my goodness, wisdom is not in one person's head. Like, it's good for us to learn from each other, share information, and also learn from each other. So, by definition, a hookup culture is one that accepts and encourages casual sexual encounters, including one night stands and other related activities, without necessarily including emotional bonding or long term commitment. It has also been called non relationship sex or sex without dating. So, this is something that a lot of youth, college student, and some single men and women feel that that's an innocent way to go about life, because we do have some parents who do not allow their children to date. Now, go to an African parent's home, like you will not even dare talk about, if you're a daughter, you will not dare talk about boys, because the mentality, the mindset, like a lot of people, they have this mentality. Okay, if your daughter or a girl is hanging out with a guy, they only hanging out for one thing, but it could be totally innocent. But most parents don't really think that. So for the youth, teenagers, and young women and men, and some adults, Sister Yvette Wednesday made a comment, or made a statement in regards to adults. They have choices. If that's something that makes them feel better, that's their choice, because they're an adult. That's their decision. But as teenagers, they need some directive, and they need information. They need to acquire a lot of information. And it's, as parents, our responsibility to educate our children in making sure that they have all the necessary information at home, in the home setting, and also the information that they acquire from social media and being in school environment. Then they can kind of process that, assess it, and use it to make better decisions. Nobody's perfect in this world. Adults, children, no one is perfect. We make mistakes, and sometimes our mistakes, as long as we learn from our mistakes, that's the most important thing, and do the right thing. Many parents are also all together between Sister Yvette, someone, Sister Cecilia, Mr. Lee Patterson, and Sister Akosia Williams. Every single one of them spoke in terms of parents using our past experience growing up, the things that we did, or decisions that we made that did not work out so well for us, or we felt that it was like not a good decision at that time. But children, once teenagers, they're curious. A lot of times also peer pressure also can put our children in a very unsafe situation, or uncomfortable situation, that they may not be able to have their own ways to stand up for themselves. So that's why it's really important for us, parents, in making sure that we empower our children with a lot of knowledge and wisdom, and leave it for them to utilize it when they're not in the house. We also discuss, not overshadowing our children. We need to also learn to give our children some room for them to be able to like wiggle, like because if we hold them too tight, there's nowhere else to go. That's why at times, they normally tend to latch on to things that they learn outside on social media. I mean, when you go on social media, a lot of times, people um, do porno for like, it's a business, it's money, it's your job, and that's fake. It's not real. But if our children are um, getting hold of something like that, and we as parents don't know, because like in the school and with their friends, some of them have phones that have internet, they can access all that anywhere. So, what best way to educate our children from by parents is very important. We need to tell them, we need to be realistic, and we need to be truthful, like honest with our children. Parents should not lie to their children about things that they did when they were younger and things that they did not do. Don't try to front, don't pretend, because it's not going to be helpful for our children. We need to educate our children to be independent in any way, every way possible. Mr. Lee Patterson also brought something up that up to today, from Wednesday up to today, I'm still processing it and thinking about it really hard. Like, a lot of times we parents, we talk about, it's a mother's job to like educate their daughters, and the father's job to educate their son. But Mr. Lee, point out something really essential, that parents, both parents should educate their daughter together. Both parents should educate their son together, because there are things, the opposite sex can give to their daughter and sons that the other one may not be able to do so. But when it comes to females, in terms of their monthly and other stuff, it's the mother's job. But it's also important for the daughter to know about the dad, like some of the lines that they can have to pick a girl, or like to kind of manipulate a girl into falling hard for them and stuff like that. So it's really important for both parents to be very involved, very much involved with their children's upbringing. Let me read. Okay, so let me read some of the comments. And welcome everybody. Welcome. Brother Ankara. Uh, let me see. Oh, my beautiful sister, woman of God, Olivia. Glad welcome. How are you doing? Oh, sorry. Hey, I'm hitting it too hard. Sorry, guys. Brother Samuel Nyamiche, welcome. How are you doing? Uh, I'm showing you guys. Oh my goodness. Brother Nana, Kosei Ventures, welcome. Hi, Sly, Sylvester William, welcome. Long time no see. Hey, I hardly see you no more. Yes, today I dance in sitting in my chair, so no worries. Yes. Hookup part two. Yeah, part two for real. All right. Brother Ankara. Okay. So Brother Ankara put up hookups or uncommitted sexual encounters becoming progressively more ingrained in popular culture, reflecting both in evolved sexual pre-directions and changing social and sexual scripts. Yeah, some that is so very true. Hookup activities may include a wide range of sexual behaviors such as kissing. Mhm. It starts from there and it gets somewhere else. Oral sex. Thank you, brother Ankara. And we all learned that like oral sex, it is sex. It's and penetrative intercourse. However, these encounters often transpire without any promise of or desire for or more traditional romantic relationship. Yeah, some more. That is so concerning. Yeesh. I want to pin it. Not that. I want to pin it. Thank you, brother Uncle. That is so true. I mean, there are a lot of times, men, just like what you mentioned this last time, they see things with their eyes, right? Normally, like hookup culture, like casual sex, going down the line, the females tends to regret it more than the males because I don't know, like um, we are built differently. Our thinkings are differently. Women, everything about women is emotional. Men is physical. So a lot of women, later on in life regret having to be part of being participant in hookup culture. But many times, a lot of them do get into it and be part of it because of peer pressure, or maybe some of them, like you have um, some teenage girls or ladies, young youth that grows up in sexual abusive home, like that hooking up is like just for them it's nothing. They okay, they fine with it because they already been exposed to worse. So that's their way of like kind of like connect not, even though the word itself is like you do it with no connection, but that's their way of um fitting in into a society. Let me see. My dear Vinny KGH Ghana, oh brother Nanako Sevencha, you too are still processing it. Yes, because it is important. My beautiful, knowledgeable sister Tina, God's love, welcome. How you doing? Okay, so brother, okay, so let me open up some information that I gather because I don't want to like just guess things. So like all right. Sister Akosi also last time, you know, um, expressed that we have to sow the seed of making sure that our children are very well informed, and also time spending with our children is very important. Um, Let me go here and read some questions that I got from last time program. Some questions that were sent to me. All right. So one of the questions that was asked was, how do you challenge hookup culture? And most times there are some things that it's very difficult. You can't even challenge it because it's out there. It's a reality. And most of the time, the ways to challenge things is just be informed. When your children and you as a parent, you are well informed, you'll be able to make decisions that you were not able to make at some point in your life, or in their life when they go outside, because a lot of times if you have a parent who does not spend a lot of time or take time with their children in a house home environment, you're going to have your child go elsewhere to seek information. So it's important. We talked about abstinence, some of the challenges, right? Some of the challenge this we can get our children to for hookup culture is abstinence. In hooking up starts with pressing the pause button. Our children, even parents, we need to press the pause button to really process things. Hello, Mr. Lee, how are you doing? If anyone wants me to bring them on, just request for it and I'll bring you on. Yeah. Um, Also, teaching our youth to slow down. Parents also, we have to slow down because we cannot overshadow our children. We have to teach our kids to be independent at the same time. Hi, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, you don't want to come in yet, right? Also, we parents, we need to talk about the overall relationships of basic things about romance, and dating. We have to like let the one thing that I know growing up, if my father, because African parents, they're strict. If my father had given me the opportunity to date, date, I don't know if I'll be able to go to my 20s before I I started dating, or if I will have end up having children or a child earlier, end up with a unwanted pregnancy earlier in life. Because at the time when I turned 2021, I was still very naive. I didn't know much. The time I grew up, social media was not this expand. Like the internet didn't have this much information. Oh no, Sister Gifty, Free, sorry, oh sorry, I'm sorry. So, like, men of God, Kwabena Ofori, Amwakwahin, welcome. Sister Cynthia, Amwafebia, welcome. So, like, I was still naive, so I don't know. It's a blessing. At the same time, would I have done things differently? I can't say that. I mean, I don't regret anything that I did growing up and when I started dating, the mistakes that I made. Um, I don't regret anything because I feel like that experience has shaped me to be the person that I am today. And I'm going to use my experience to educate my children, um, both the boys and the girl. And my husband's definitely going to be part of it with conversation with our daughter. And I'm going to be part of it with conversation with our sons because they need to be able to make the right decisions. No problem, Mr. No problem, Mr. Always shape us. Okay, Sister Gifty Free said experience always shapes us. Most definitely. But a lot of people, a lot of parents, like they kind of like feel ashamed of choices that they made. It might not have been the best choices, but that's why it's important for your child to know. Don't the pretense is like too much. Don't pretend to your children that you are perfect. You never made a mistake, or try to build our the life that we wanted into our children. They have different mentality. They grow differently. Like some of the girls, they develop differently. You may see like a 9-year-old who looks like a 15, 16-year-old nowadays. Our children are growing up so fast. Social media, there's a lot of negativity on social media than positive, educative programs. Or it could be the opposite. There are a lot of positive, educative programs on social media, but everyone seems to be attractive to the negative aspects. People want to like, things like the bad stuff. We have some kids who are not supposed to be watching porno and they watching it. Believe me, there's like no cut age of kids that are watching porno because they happen to be flipping the channels. That's why it's good to put parental control on your TV. But what about social media? Like if your child have a phone, they're gonna go to YouTube, they can Google things. When they go to school, if they don't have internet on their phone, their friends may have it. So education, teaching, building a solid, consistent structure, foundation with your children at home, spending time with them, making sure that they feel comfortable in coming to talk to you about anything that is bothering them or something that they don't understand or something that they've been thinking about. And Mr. Lee, on Wednesday, in part one, I stress on like if your child comes to you and talk about them feeling certain way, don't tell them that they bad child. Don't tell them that they shouldn't be feeling that. That's normal. It's normal for our kids to go through body changes. We need to let them know, and we need to help them the best way that we can. And then they can make the decision as to what they can do with that. Sometimes some parents, if you cannot handle that type of conversation, okay, make sure that you make an appointment for to see their GP, general practitioner, and then they can help you educate them in so many ways. Ms. Lee said, if one lies in denial, they never get better. Most definitely, I'm telling you. Okay, let me see. This is Brother Ankara. Okay, so Brother Ankara said, in our highly sexualized and increasingly permissive culture, you might think that young adults are having more sex than ever before. If so, you will be wrong. That's very true. A lot of times, so that is so true. Perception, like how our mindset works, is like unbelievable. We always thinking the worst, but it might not be. Young people are launching their sex lives later and having sex less frequently than members of previous generations. Oh, the question is why? Well, I think most of young children are learning. Sister Gifty, it says you want to come on. Let me bring you on. Hey, Sister Gifty, and then dear. This today will be today. Oh.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you, hey, I won't say dear. I'm going to say.
How are you?
Yes, so I don't know.
Wow, I love your topic this morning. God bless you and just continue to keep pushing.
Thank you.
That you have lifting somebody's spirit. I just want to add something. I don't know, while you were talking, a lot of ideas in my mind, a lot of thoughts in my mind. And, you said something that was powerful. You said that it's okay to let your children know that you yourself have made mistakes.
Yeah, sis, you have your headset, or bring your window up.
Okay. Is it okay?
Yes.
So, you said something that was so powerful, and I was really reflecting on what you were saying. You said that it's okay to let our children know that we, as parents, have also made mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And to use our experience to shape our children. For me, for me, growing up is very tough, and I always tell my children that, mommy makes mistakes, but mommy learns from their mistakes, and mommy's becoming a better person, right? But the most important thing for us to do is teach our children how to believe in who they are, right? Believe in who they are. Remember I had a post about my daughter, right? She posted a paper, and it said, I love what I see in the mirror.
I love that. Self-image.
It's very powerful because I've been teaching my children that you need to love who you are. Because when you love who you are, nobody will come in your way to change your mindset. Because your mind, you have to have a fixed mindset, right? Fixed mindset, knowing that you like your skin color, you love who you are, you love your parents, and you believe that no matter what obstacles come in your way, you will overcome it because you know there's a God bigger than your problem.
That's right.
So, it starts with building our children's self-esteem. A lot of our children, the reason why some of these kids out there, they're following the media, they're following social media, they're following all these celebrities because they have not developed their own identity, meaning that they don't know who they are.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's it. I just wanted to add that to it. So everyone that's listening, love who you are, know who you are, know your identity, know that you were born to do great things in this world, and you never let anybody reverse that.
That's right.
You never let anybody reverse the word they say by the things they do, because when you know that I am great, and I know that I am great, nobody's going to take that greatness away from you.
Thank you.
But if you don't know who you are, you are easy access to the people who will want to kill your vision, kill who you are. So that's the first thing. Know who you are.
Yes.
Everything, all problems, right?
Yes. Sis, I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Right. Oh my God. That was my beautiful, knowledgeable sister, Gifty. Afiye, she has a lot of knowledge in when it comes to like the youth. She educates the youth and help them be able to build their self-esteem up. And her daughter, like I love her daughters. Like the little one, when I saw that sign, she's holding a sign that says, I love what I see in the mirror. Self-esteem, self-confidence is the number one for ourselves and our children, because out there is so much going on out there. Sometimes you have friends that bullies their own friends because their friend look a certain way, may look more beautiful than they do, but they will flip it around and make them look like they the one that don't look beautiful. But we all beautiful inside out. It's our characters that will differentiate us. If you adopt bad character, that will differentiate you from someone who will develop good character. Boss lady, the marvelous, knowledgeable, awesome, confident boss lady. Guys, tune in Fire Life Radio Monday through Fridays, 4 p.m. UK time to check Boss Lady out. My beautiful woman of God, Sister Ajua Okay, welcome. How you doing? Long time. Well, it hasn't been that long. It's only been 2 days, but it feels like it's been a while. Uh, thank you, Mr. Lee. Okay, I'm just going back because I saw some messages that came on. So Sister Gifty Free, she just came on and also shared her views. She said pressure of society make us make poor choices. That is like so true. And that's why it's important for parents to build a strong, consistent, loving, caring relationship with our children, because when our children learn things in society, they will ask more questions. And for parents to be, oh my gosh, everybody says this, honest, don't sugarcoat things, don't lie, because when we do lie, you can catch up with the lie. Somewhere down the line, you're going to trip. And when you trip, believe me, your child will never trust you again. And that is not a relationship that you want to build with your own children. Social media is like, it's another story. Things that we see and hear and witness is like unbelievable. So it's very important. Um, Miss Lee said experiences shapes us only when we accept it and own up to it. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Oh my gosh, that is like huge. A lot of people may use their experiences to educate someone, but they have not accepted it or own up to it, because they will use their past experiences, but they will put this in there, and high percentage of them do it. Well, the reason why I started sleeping around in my teenage years, it was because our family did not have money. Our family is poor, or because your grandfather was so strict on me, I have to do things to survive, or like I wasn't being like, there's always something. When you use your past experience to educate your child, you need to own up to your decision then, and the decisions that you have made up to the time that you have your children and they old enough for you to have a conversation with them. So thank you so much, Mr. Lee. Owning up, accepting it and owning up to it is huge. It's very essential, because don't put the blame on somebody else. Yeah, whatever situation we go through, is we still the one making the choices. We choosing to do X, Y, and Z. Mr. Lee said, oh, I read that one. Mr. Lee said, yes, their friends will have some access. So how do you say, as for me, I control my kids' phone? Oh, really? Oh, you have the tracker on your phone, right? Yes. There are some parents who has a tracker on the child's phone, and some of them even the activities that their children have on their phone, it sends to the parents, so their conversation. But that's like invasion of privacy. However, if we educate our children and spend time with them up to the point of where we have trust, because I mean, you can have your child feel that you don't trust them, but it's good to have the tracker on, because if worse comes to worse, your child get kidnapped or something bad happens, then nobody knows where they are, you can track them. So it's very important to have the tracker on the phone for your children. Sister Yvette Wednesday spoke in terms of teaching our children to be safe when they're not with us, when they're outside, especially if they're taking the bus, not to stand right at the curb, because anyone can pull over and grab you and push you in the van or in the car. And she spoke about telling her daughter, kick, just get on the ground, lay on the floor, kick, throw, whatever. If you can get between a man's legs, just hit it as hard that you could. But now they have learned some of them have learned, they will cover that part, but just kick and scream and do whatever. Don't just make it easy for them. It's very important to do that. Educate our children. Education is the best. So we need to do that more often. Mr. Lee, okay, let me see. Yeah, yeah, no, it was echoing because she didn't have her earphones on. The noise is too much. All right, thank you. Sorry about that. Um, okay, Brother Ankra. Brother Ankra Akwe said, these are some of the reasons parental pressure, it is their parents' fault. Yeah, so that is one of the reasons author Kate Julian posts for the decline in sex among young adults. Oh, nice. Invoking the terms of uh, duration, helicopter parents, anxiety. I don't want to skip. Parents' anxiety about their children's educational and economic prospect has increased. Parents are urging their kids to focus on building their credentials in high school and college rather than investing in romantic relationship. That's the parents who are educating their children. Oh, that is good. They are also supervising their kids more closely, leaving them with less free time for fooling around away from watchful eyes. That is like amazing, Brother Ankra. Like when we talk about Ghanaian parents, we do have a lot of parents that works how you call it, living, right? They do living, and when they do living, the other parent also might be. Why this is not popping up? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me. It's not switching. Let me see. Oh, hold on, guys. I just want to like pin them, but it's not pinning. I don't know why. Hmm. Okay, let me try from here. Okay, it's not switching. Maybe I can't pin anything else. Sorry, guys. Yeah, there are some African parents, Ghanaian parents, who still do living, and their children may be living with someone else or with their father, and the dad might be working during the day. So by the time they come home, the child is like might be bit me abasakra no or no kwa school up to ekopem ebi anonotwe anase nonko na afena ne papa ebe fie enti no ebetimi abase ayi abrofo no no keep your eyes on their children, but it's so parents are both parents are involved now. For me, like my husband and I, we have like opposite shift. Well, right now I'm not working, but I should be working soon. But say maybe na me juma overnight. I make ebe juma during the day. And one of us is always home with our kids. Some parents, they don't do that. Some parents work the same shift. If you work the same shift, sometimes they might overlap an hour or two. Now, like during the time that you're not home, because our children, like some of them, when they have after school program, it's up to 5 p.m. Some parents work past 5 p.m. They work to 10, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or midnight. So in between the time that the child finish after school and being home, who is supervising them? But if this is what Kate is saying, and it's actually happening in all the community and society, that is great. That is very helpful. Um, okay. Who do you listen to? Oh, so I'll answer that, brother. Go say in a few. Let me see. Mr. Lee says, how do an adolescent know who he or she is without? How do an adolescent know who he or she is without an impact? Hey, Mr. Lee, your question there, I'm kind of like puzzled a little bit. So I'll come back to it. Once I'm able to process it and understand it, what you're asking, I will come back to it. Okay. So much. Well, every brother venture, I feel that every society, every country have their own issues and problems, but in overall, no, parents are still responsible for our children's well-being. We need to educate our kids, but in order for us to educate our kids, we need to educate ourselves. We can't blame countries or where we raising our children, or our um, financial means to not educate our children. That is not like it's our responsibility. Brother Mike Meeker, welcome. All right, so every country have their ups and downs, their issues. So, but parents, we need to pick and choose what it is, things that we need to teach our children. It's our responsibility. My Black Beauty sister Arethea Dolly, welcome. Sister Vivi Nash, Amofedia, welcome. And hello to you as well. Sister Vivi Nash said, okay, no problem. Mr. Lee, I don't know why I can't pin this stuff. Mr. Lee says some parents want to know what kinds of sites they visit while surfing on the internet. Some adolescents don't have this restriction. Therefore, if you think you are safe with your kids, trust me, you are not. Oh, that is so true. Hey, Mr. Lee, so there, Mr. Lee, like deep thinking, Ali. That is really true. Mm, mm, mm. And there are some adolescents, like they know that their parents have restrictions, and they track their every move. So when they go outside the home with their friends during school time or during recesses, they might be able to, wow, that is like serious and scary. So we come back to parents doing their very best. Oh, finally, I'm able to switch it. Oh, Mr. Lee, you can do magic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Being civil. Okay. How do we do it? Okay, brother. Nanako says being civil during a passionate discussion. How do we do it? There is a way. A coach has a coach. Um, being civil with one another when there's a discussion. I mean, majority of the time, we have spoken about learning communication skills, being an active listener, because when you're having conversation or a discussion and one started talking, the other one needs to be able to listen well. Listen doesn't mean that interrupting. You have to give the other person to finish everything that they expressing before you interrupt. And at times it's good to like kind of summarize what the other person tells you. And we use this in to resolve conflict. We use it to debate, because when you're doing debate, as someone is expressing their view of point, you can't just go about and interrupt it. You have to wait for the person to finish making their point. And sometimes some people may need some directive in order to learn to do that. So if it's a coach, well, it has to be that. But we can learn things in different form. Brother Ankara Akwe says, bodily self conscience, distractions, sleep deprivation, and other sources of inhibition. Young adults may be having less sex because their potential for being aroused is being undermined in many ways. Digital distractions are among the most obvious potential uh, culprits. Sleep deprivation doesn't help either. Having a negative body image or feeling self conscious about your naked body can also stand in the way of sexual fulfillment. And Julian suggested that today's young adults may struggle more with these issues. Wow. Self confidence. Oh, body image. Wow. If, as some have suggested, anxiety and depression are on the rise in the younger generation, that that too could account for some of the disease, some of the decrease in not disease, or some of the decrease in sex. Anti depressants can also undermine sexual desire. Hmm. That is really concerning, because a lot of people, Sister Gifty Efeyi came and talked about self-image and self-confidence, self-value. A lot of youth, young adults, some of them are obese, and at times, because of their image, they might kind of isolate themselves from having sex. But we still have hookup culture, whereas casual sex with a certain group, especially those who feel that they're beautiful, they're pretty, and they can have anyone that they want to have in their life. That is really concerning, scary. So parents, we need to make sure that we empower our children to love themselves, value themselves, care for themselves. Self care is most important. And no matter what situation or struggles that they encounter, that they work at it and use us, our help, the parents' help to get over it. If they feel that they need counseling, they need to help them with that. Brother Nanako Venture said, Adra, who do you listen to on social media? I have a lot of I have some pretty knowledgeable, uh, wise people that I listen to on social media. Um, Friends and family that I listen to. I have Mama Tess from Ghana Life FM. I have Boss Lady um from oh my gosh, Mire. From Fire Life Radio slash TV. I listen to Nana Enyamisam, Pastor Nana Enyamisam, and uh, his wife. Who's laughing now? My brain is like going. Okay, I listen to Blessing Mandy. I listen to Bishop Michael Abojigansa. I listen to Honorable Prof. Aban. I listen to DJ Muhammad. I listen to DJ Virus, Ghana Life FM. DJ Muhammad is in Fire Life Radio as well. Who do I listen to? Sister Amma Manson. I listen to Nana JB when he comes on. Lately, I haven't been able to catch up with his programs, live programs, because I haven't. I listen. Who else do I listen to? I listen to Brother David Ministry. Brother, yes. How? Oh boy, like I listen to the lawyer Darko on Saturdays. Whenever I'm able to catch up with him. If not, I listen later. I listen to Nana Obeying Buama, and I listen to um, Pastor Patience, uh, Evangelist Araba. Who else do I listen to that I haven't mentioned? You see, when you name names now, most of the time, like you might leave somebody really dear to you. I listen to DJ Costello. I listen to my dear brother, Big Love. I listen to who else? Pastor Nkansa. And I listen to other motivational, inspirational people who really educate and teach. I listen to Reverend Dr. Sharon Glad, and I listen to more like I listen to Tom Empire. Like, let me just go forward, move forward. I listen to positive, knowledgeable, uh, wise people. Mr. Lee, I can listen to Mr. Lee all day. Mr. Lee does not do program, but like when he comes on goes on programs, and because it will pop up that he's live somewhere, I'm like running to go see what he has to say, and then I talk to him on the side, behind closed door. I talk to him. He has spoken to my husband multiple times, and I talk to other people also. So there's a lot of people that on social media that I follow and listen to because they do programs that educate, that is beneficial to me, and I can acquire information to also use that to educate my children. So it's important to not follow to not follow negative people that encourages nonsense and foolishness. I don't follow people that do not talk any sense, or like, so you have me going there, brother. Brother Cole say, and I listen to me also. Yes, Sister Amma is good. Okay, brother Nanako said you will learn a lot in America. WW Semini. I will check it out to see, because when you get information out, you just need to see what it is that they can bring, and if it's something that I feel I can learn a lot from it, I will do that. Oh, you too. I see you on the platform. I see you around, Brother Nunako say. Yeah. Who said this? Our young generation are just into sex. Are just into sex than we are saying or thinking. That is Brother Anka said a lady named Kate Julian who wrote I guess she did an experiment and wrote that, but I think it's the opposite, that nowadays the generation now are not having, they're not having enough time. They're focusing on their academic and economy and all that, because and the parents are like more focused on them. But in our community, I'm not so sure about that. So that is something that could be 50-50. It could be happening for a certain group, and other groups it may not be able to um, that way. So, Brother Anka, thank you for sharing. Brother Boatin in Japan. Hey, my brother-in-law. And there be actually me kun. Me sister kun. Say me sister kun ye me kun. Yeah. My sister's husband. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sister kun. Nti ye me kun so. Sister Cynthia. And answer my getting it wrong. So when you kun ye me kun. Your friend is saying hypothetically, right? Obi wɔ hɔnom a n'adwene ne nyɛ papa na ɔde kɔfa baabi ɛnyɛ. Yɛmpɛ ne saa koraa. So like some of the challenges, how do we challenge some of the challenges? Earlier I talked about abstinence, but also self-image, like building, helping our children build their self-esteem, talking about basic things about romance, dating, intimacy, and all that. We need to make sure that we, as an adult, we feel comfortable. Practice as a parent. If you feel that there are some conversations that you cannot do good at, practice on yourself, and you and your partner practice how you're going to have certain conversation with your children, because some of the conversation is not easy. Even among us adults, when we're talking about certain things, we get shy, we shy off with that because we don't feel comfortable with it, and that all stems from self-confidence. A lot of adults, a lot of parents do not have self-confidence of themselves. So how do you build your child's self-confidence if you yourself do not have confidence in yourself, your abilities, and what you are capable of? Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Brad Watson. Okay, and then another question that was sent to me: why young adults feel that they should be casual about sex, excluding themselves. Well, there are groups of youth, teenagers, most of the time, like when they you have some scientists doing experiments, they will have different group of ages, and they will talk to them, they will meet with them at different time and talk to each one of them. They will have females and then males on the side, and then they will talk to them. Sometimes they will ask them certain questions, direct questions, and they are not forthcoming with that. And at times it may be because of the questions that they're asking. But when you ask them certain questions, some of the females and also the males, the boys, are more forthcoming. They will talk in terms about how their classmates and their peers are like really comfortable. Everybody is like having casual sex. It's part of the culture. Like everybody is doing it, but they themselves are not doing it because they don't feel comfortable with it. At times they might be doing it, but they don't want to put themselves in that category. And then they talk the females, as I said earlier, are more inclined to talking about how they regret being participating in hookup culture, because at the time they may not have had the information, the necessary information, the important information that they needed to know before they got themselves into it. So like we have some youth who don't think like giving oral sex, blowjob is sex, because like the person they feel that it's not sex because there was no penetration, but that's not it. That is having sex. And because there's no connection, that after you finish, it's done. You don't call me, I don't call you, so it's not harmful. but it is harmful. It is harmful as time goes on. It's going to take a toll on some kids. Like, and you have some um, young adults that will feel certain way at times, even start having really bad thoughts in hurting themselves. You have some youth, especially the girls, who will start cutting themselves and they will hide it just to that's how some of them deal with their pain and their struggles. And then you might have some who will start who will talk about suicidal. You have some because of their weight, like if you have someone who is obese, they're not going to be part of that hookup culture because they themselves do not feel confident of themselves. Their body image is something that is preventing them from being participating in hookup culture. At times, also their look, low self-esteem can also play part in that. So we need to make sure that our children are not limited in anything, everything, making decisions or being part of society in the right way, not in a negative set. Mr. Liampo, yeah, blowjob always lead to sex. Alrighty. Thank you, Sister Gifty Effie. I'm afraid Sister Gifty Effie said she responded to Mr. Lee question. Okay, she said exactly. We must set a good examples for them, for our children. That is so important, brother. Krause. Another reason the rate of sex may be decreasing is that more often than we realize, the sex that young adults are having is bad sex or painful sex. Oh, Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy. Ooh. They are also more willing to say no thanks to having any more of it. Young adults are experiencing more of the kinds of sex that is popularized in porn. Oh my gosh, such as anal sex and choking erotic. Uh, are you kidding me? That is scary. You see, this is what Wednesday and earlier we were talking about. I oh my gosh, I point out and oh my gosh, that if parents are not educating their children at home and being honest, they're going to learn things outside, like watching porno on social media. It's out there. There are a lot of things on social media do not have parental control. You can go there and type in whatever and get it. Some parents do not have parental control on their TV. Their children have TV in their room. When they are sleeping, children will turn on TV and bring down the volume. They know what they're watching is wrong, but they're going to watch it because their parents don't have a tendency in popping up in their room and checking in on them, and they will watch it. And because, like, they watching all this stuff, they take it as normal. We all know that porno is fake. All the noise and everything that they're making, they're just doing it to make their money. And a lot of people, there are some men who cannot get aroused without having to listen to watch that and stuff. That's abnormal. But if children are watching such things and like having more painful sex, like I, them apart and then you be show to any no dear. Yentinya nyankopon bo tonga. But tonga for a reason, but I don't tell say, hey, semi, but anka, we I know what So we have to educate our children. We learn, I'm learning. But no class, I partner brother, uncle, I didn't even realize that. Mr. Lee Patterson said, "What does a blowjob lead to? Because it is for the entertainment of the boys and not the girls." That is so true. And oh my gosh, Mr. Lee. So it leads to something, most definitely. Now, of course, when you give blow up, the boys uh Winnie is not going to be laying down, it's going to pop up, and it's going to lead to something, most definitely. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Um, okay, so Brother Nanako said, Brother Ankara writes interesting intellectual. He's deep in America. Uh, Brother Ankara is abroad, but he's not in US. Uh-huh. He will share that information when he wants people to know. Thank you, Brother Ankara. Brother Mike M. Marty, welcome. Oh, hey, Brother Kosei, you what's what kind of someone? Brother Kosei said, what about that bootleg $5? Oh, so say they do $5, $5 CD on New York streets. I mean to say what they say they asked to us about any some and a very concerning. Mhm. And also, I was they say the bootleg cities, and then in the train, in the bus, public transportation, the buses I haven't seen, but in the train there are some in there. That's true. They might have uh the porn in there also. And then let's not forget about, okay, let's not forget about um pedophiles and molesters and abusers and all them demented sick bastards out there who inflict pains on children to get pleasure. So we have to educate our children, places. My 8-year old, she knows now, like when she was 5, she knows her body parts, where nobody can put their hands. If anybody touches there, like, if you playing with your peers and your hand brush parts over there, that's okay. But if it happened twice and third time, she needs to pay attention to it, because that may not be done accidentally. It's intentional, because you know why, when you have a prey, before they can attack, they need to like try other things to see how far they can go. And then once they see that you don't do nothing about it, then they attack. So we have to be very mindful of that. So what I was talking earlier was like, you have some scientists and doctors who do experiment, and this experiment, they have girls, boys, and they will question them as to, like, this hookup culture, like, are they part, or have they participate in it? And then they will normally talk in turn, they will talk about how their peers, a lot of students are doing it, but they themselves, they're not doing that. And it would take certain questions in order for them to forthcoming. A lot of them also express that because of studying and the back and forth, they don't have time to date, and also their parents are not allowing them to date. So, like, having this hookup culture, like casual sex and hangouts and stuff, it's kind of easier because you don't need to expect any phone calls the next day. But some girls actually do get attached to it, and if the male partner do not show any affection and any love, that's going to cause them to like um, get depressed, get stressed out, and get, excuse me for a minute, and get depressed in a way that can really turn into something else. Okay, so Mr. Lee, I so agree with you, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee said this is why the house fundamental uh, tutors are so important. Most definitely, a lot of parents don't realize. There are some parents that feels like, oh, my child should know better. No, you've been a child before. Children, like, growing up, we I got curious about a lot of things. Like my mom being a nurse, like it was easier for her when I asked her questions and things. She had time to sit with me and explain to me this and this and that. When I have my first monthly menstruation, I wasn't with my parents, and I was living with a family member. They did not give me any directive as to what to do. I mean, that my first time was like the worst thing ever, because I didn't realize, and my older sister was in school. I didn't realize that you have to uh, keep things down there. I just went to the restroom, wiped myself, and came out. Oh my God, lack of knowledge, my people will perish. And it kept coming, and I didn't realize. So, my sister happened to come that evening, and she asked me why I'm walking like that, because I was walking funny. And I told her, and she was like, no, this is what you have to do. So that's when I learned how to like carry myself, how to deal with it when I'm having my monthly. If it wasn't for my sister, I think that I would ruin all my underwears and everything. So it's so much to give. So when I transitioned to join my parents abroad, I asked a lot of questions with my mother, and she was able. I'm telling you, Sister Alethea, it's funny now, but it wasn't funny at the time. Seriously, I didn't know that you're supposed to keep a pad down there and then you switch it at certain time. I didn't know. I was what? I was like 14. I didn't know. Serious. So this is something that I needed to be taught. Like, when you go through body changes, the things that you need to do, and X, Y, and Z. I was not taught that. Living with a certain family member. But like, oh my gosh. Oh Lord. So it is so crucial, like, to really build um oh my god. Oh my goodness. You hmm. Eh, rather go say Jadio. What is better than hello, Sister Emma Manson? I'm Ophelia, eh? The motivational, knowledgeable, strong will sister. Welcome. Oh boy, it's serious. So I mean, Mr. Lee has just summed it up for us. It's very important to really build a fundamental tutor, a tutor in our household. The parents, we have to educate our children, because if we don't educate our children, oh my gosh, we in such big trouble with our today. Hello, Pastor Kwabena Ofori Amwakohin. Welcome.
Thank you.
I salute you, woman of God.
Thank you. God bless. Oh, because it is in your maybe one no
Like you said, those times are very serious. You know?
Yes.
I mean, something you don't have a knowledge about it, you know. But today, you know, when you look back at, overall, Charlie, my best in my.
Oh, Pastor, baby, I want no internet. No, okay. After this, it's I study.
Yeah, be wrong.
Now it's fine.
Yeah, okay. Let me just say, what am I saying?
That was like my worst time ever because let me say ubunsa etwaso ba intimidate me call na me copy pa na me samba abontin after before I can even move a couple steps so na masako and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what it was. Now me wo fear na time me wo you know 14 na afina my secondary school as ba na ya be fear for me term into like during that time but my sister penny no ni fear yet into enumere no buy na who say me nanti because na after the me time it mean nanti like send it's not friend me.
We are very lucky because if it's supposed to happen at school,
and cannot be a new crowd. I think some coming close to you.
Because you primary, not let it be your class. I mean, grade 6, you know, now when you can class here, and it's like, since I can know and so I didn't buy preoccupy. It did not carry no money.
I say.
Now maybe you know. Oh, sorry, no, it was very bad, and she doesn't know.
Say, Bibi, sir.
And the other girlfriends, you know, I bring them out. I mean, but lucky for her, some of her friends, you know, knew about that because their mother be teaching them.
Yes. Oh.
In case you say, then this is what you have to do. And you know, Obako or Adebia look at Tamaudiba, school Banaya Tiase. In the only teacher, other girls in age.
Wow.
In a echo of the blood, not young boys to do you. And the boys were screaming, hey, we were just making noise.
That is so embarrassing. Of course, because we don't know. We don't know. Some children they yenchra intina na ahom te pa ahom te
part of the training now. We see these are some of the things that are very educated for mothers.
Yes.
What they are saying to be able to begin to teach their children, even starting from 9, at the age of 9.
Yes.
Give them the ideas to know exactly. You don't have knowledge about it. So that it will help them. And so when such things happen now, they have the concept and an idea to see exactly what they can do.
Most definitely. And then once we have our monthly what comes after, like things when you have sex and you don't have protection, you do this, you can get pregnant, unwanted pregnancy, our body changes and all that.
Exactly.
It's
certain things in a season because immediately you get into it, this is where some of the men as a married couples, it become a challenge to them. They don't understand because in my levels of maybe put it this way, they were one body at 5 safer. And so sometimes you can be just talking to your wife now, all of a sudden who begin the baby. And that moment, maybe you are expecting her based on conversation, you may expect her to These are some of the things we men have to know and understand the system of our wives.
Most definitely, yes.
Well, now also wow, so that I go and say, oh, I meanwhile you're fine. What's the sound? Because when the system changes, it changes them. If you are the crab, they don't want to eat.
Most
They don't have
definitely.
the appetite for themselves. Because whatever is coming from them, they themselves, they don't want it. Wow. Because a descent in the
I'm proud.
wow. And so these are some of the things men also we need to be educated in it for us to get the understanding about our wives. When certain things happen, we may get it right with them.
Most definitely. And also, like, as our women, like, most of them don't even know how to clean themselves. The teenagers, like, once your body changes and you start having your monthly, how to clean yourself and carry yourself. I mean, there's so much that parents, a role that parents need to play.
Meaning adults, adults they don't know how to carry themselves. Yes, and yet, what's that? Sometimes, Christians don't. You're not taking care of yourself. Azana,
Brother,
Amen. And so sometimes, only maybe one and one share. So, that's you can locate it because it may be one cry. What was that? It can cry one day. Oh yeah. Yeah, it can cry one day. Emma sent to be Emma sent people it was very continuously. And one Emma clean out of it.
Yeah, last time it said like in my 20s, I used to go to parties a lot. And a friend is saying there was a lady that I went to sit next to, and I kid you not, I'm not making this up. I can smell her. Like, it was so bad, and the smell is so disgusting. And it was very bad. And I don't know, and the way she was sitting, she wasn't sitting with her leg crossed. She was sitting in such a way that her legs were open a little bit, and I can smell it. And it smells so bad. And being young, when you are a certain age and you see something or whatever, you will laugh. That was my natural reaction. The first reaction, I just started laughing and I covered my nose. So she saw that, like, when I came to sit next to her, I covered my nose, and then I got up gradually, and then I started talking to my younger sister, my sister, and I told my sister what I just smelled, and she was like, so a lot of times, and you're right, some women even do not know how to clean themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, what's that? There are families who are. Mami Nagasa only know they can't help their girls.
But said, behave yourself.
I remember years back, like 30 years back, I met a lady we were dating, and it's like the first day I meet a reality show. The smell was so bad to the stairs. I just ran quickly to the bathroom and took my shower.
Wow, you thought it was you? Or you just washing it off? You washing it off you?
No, it wasn't me, but I smelled it from her. But what's the mindset to this? Let me finish what I want to do before. Wow.
And yes, and Yami Fro, Yami and Fro, and can you?
Sometimes we look at back, we see what grace. That is what we can understand grace. What you are saying?
Mr. Lee said you smelled fish, but don't let us deviate. Okay, Yati.
Sister, did me kako Gary. But could you believe that or do that she doesn't know? You know, very beautiful. She's good material, you know, to be a wife. But there is something I think that this is what I've realized. As someone in the Becano, I'm very offended, but if only she would take it from me, it will happen. You know, many last because I not know, you know, she has been in a relationship, all the men are running away from her. And she never knew whatever I'm telling her. It be sad, he said, I wanted to meet the mother. So I went with her to the mother. Now, I think the 28th movie. And I sat down with the mother. I said, listen, I want but there's something I want to tell you as a mother. If you can do to help her, not knowing is that I will find one Mami or Tina needs to be changed. And so all that she was going through, the mother don't have idea about it. And this is some of the problem. Some of the youngest will face it as when parents give birth to them, they don't set themselves down and take care of them.
Most definitely. So it's very important for the home foundation.
And very, 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 very important. You know, I told the woman everything. And the woman, you know what the mother told me? Wow, you are a different man altogether. You are a different young man altogether. To have the boldness to even sleep with my daughter and come to me and tell me all this. Thank you. My baby brother knows that there's a man
oh, nice. Pastor Kwabra, in terms of us bringing that into parents educating our children, how should they go about it? How important it is for us to educate our children in terms of cleaning, self-esteem, self-confidence, and this hookup culture, like casual sex, because I know that you can talk in the aspect of Christianity, you know, both ways.
And so whatever we are saying now,
yeah.
And so you can to me, I'm why you say Christo there. But don't have a to my say. But parents, you have a lot of responsibility. And it seems that we are living our responsibilities now and just think about ourselves. But when it comes in terms of marriage, you know, it's not about you no more. It's about you the time you are making decision to marry. And it's the Bible says, Ubeja unani weja. Na unam mieno abeya kunamba. Enti nyami akambo muno mobi titimu. Eno ye mra ma embe muye because mother ye inshra adima worry. Ma ye awari. Children are not part of marriage. That is why when God bless you people with children, they will grow and they will go and they will leave you and your wife home. Wow, if the Mufrad Yamidi Mawan, Edimayano, and you trust it in a way, and what you China, you to make sure will be the part. Now, also to make Jacob one rapper, I'm a one that. It didn't say ye neglect ye responsibility. Bible says, okay, promise, I will say, train a child the way he should grow. But when he grew, he will never depart away.
That's right.
From where
Oh.
Fathers in their daughter's life, about the girls, what they learn much from we the fathers know, and their future husbands. How we relate to them, how we talk to them, how we give them gifts, how we do things with them. No, but don't even come. Okay, how we do with them, no, it helps them to see. Obviously, my daughter will say, I want a man like my dad. I'm very strict. I'm a principled man, but I'm very romantic.
Nice.
When you do the wrong thing, I call wrong, and I call right. I know I'm not the kind of fathers here. When they see the wrong thing now, they will try to polish it for the children. It doesn't help them. But he's a father of love. He's a father.
Hi, woman of God. Mr. Beatrice, I'm ready.
Our wrong should be wrong, and our right should be right. And we have to be very honest. The way we treat our wives, our boys look at it.
That's true.
And they grow with it. Some of the marriages are in the air, so it's not about the boys, so it's not about the men. It's the foundation
that you built.
Because when you marry and you disrespect your wife, and you abuse your wife, and you
the internet.
Next level. So what?
Your internet is like your internet is going in and out. I mean, yeah. I want to go. Yeah, I just want to. Okay, Mr. Lee said yes. This is a kind of a father. Yes, but there should be a dialogue even with the child. Yes, that's what Mr. Lee is saying. Being straightforward and being honest with your child. And then
my children can come to me anytime. It's like I have that open relationship with them. That is like, even though I'm tough, even though I'm principled, even though I'm a strict person, I'm very flexible. And so they can't hide anything from me.
Mm-hmm.
They sometimes talk to me more than my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes my wife gets upset on that. Why everything they can't? My wife is very soft. Wow. But when you come in terms of discipline, it tells them wait when daddy comes home. Quickly, they will change. But I'm the same person, they can count on me. And so I'm challenging fathers, the runaway fathers, the abusing fathers, the fathers that they are running away from their responsibilities. They have to be there for the children. It's not about the woman. It's about your children.
That's right.
They didn't say they want to come into this world. You brought them. It's your duty to make sure that you give them what it takes. So that, as they grow up, they will not repeat our mistakes. They will repeat.
That's
because
right.
I don't want any of my children to bear my sin. Who can limitation 5-7? Because our great parents have sinned and gone. But today, we are bearing the iniquity. The iniquities of our parents is upon our lives.
That's right.
And so the blood of Jesus have redeemed us from that curses now. We should make sure that we will never repeat it to come back so that our children will suffer. Because broken homes and creating big problem.
That's right.
It's about minimum. It's not about us anymore.
That's right.
Now it's about the children. It's about the children, the innocent children that they have come to. Now it's about them.
That's right.
And so mothers, fathers, we have to work hard and stop our feelings, our emotions, and stop running away from our responsibilities as we want to divorce. I want my peace. I want my happiness. What are you talking? What is about happiness? What is about happiness in life? The only place you can find your happiness is in Christ. The only place you can find your happiness is in Christ. Because no matter who you are, listen, it's the same thing you are going to meet. But first of all, if we can calm down and diagnose ourselves, what I said, put our pride away, put who we know away, and calm down and allow the Holy Spirit to lift our spirit up, to be able to have understanding about what marriage is, about how to bring children's house back. It will help us, and we will always have the happy home. Our children will marry and also be happy and say that our proudness is our mother and our father.
So building a happy home will limit our teenage daughters, teenage boys into participating, being part of hookup culture, right? Having casual sex, because they see they are growing up in a happy home, and they have the information, the education that they need, because the parents are able to use their experiences to educate them as what is wrong and right? Because one other thing that
because a lot of parents have become like Akamutobi.
And it's not good. We shouldn't raise our children to fear us.
The children that they have to look at you to build their future, they can't look at you.
That's right.
Wow, and this is the most serious part of it all. And when I get to baby, when something is fighting the children, they can't rely to talk to you.
Because they're afraid.
Because that is it. Wow. I sometimes tell my children, hey, let's go out. I'm going to teach you guys how to shop. Things you need, things you don't need it. What you have to buy and what you don't have to buy. Sometimes I put money into their pockets. I say, okay, keep this money for a week. Let me see how you are going to spend it. Well, all these things, and the confidence you are building in them. You are building this confidence in them. Sometimes we go out, we eat. I tell them, hey, I have no money. Very much so, Daddy, you remember you gave me some $100? I said, no, I don't remember. Oh, okay, I have it here. Let me pay for it. He said, wow.
So we also teach them responsibility.
No, you started from money. 9. I don't underrate them.
Got it.
Don't underrate them. Things that these children have loaded in them, no? Wow. Different. Season that different.
So I'm glad that you brought that. So how do you what message can you give to parents who try to raise their children in the 21st century instead when at the time that they were growing up in their generation? Because children nowadays are different from the time that I grew up, right? And the time that my parents grew up. So I can't expect to raise my children the way that I was raised during the time I was growing up, because there's a lot of things that I didn't know, and we didn't have access to. But now our children have access to a lot more than back in the days. So what can you give those parents? Because there are some parents, they want to raise their children to be like them, which is impossible. We all have our destiny.
The problem here is we parents need to have understanding about the level of life we are in today. First of all, whatever we are doing, if we don't have the understanding now, we can't preach or we can't teach for the children to catch it up. Because in 21st century as a modern world. Well, and so first of all, as a parent, we need to adjust and to come down to the level of the modern world we are and learn out of it and take the good part of it that we can educate our children with it. Because say you big giant, excuse my language, the Marima Benja won't quasi and near my body and what you must hear. Now they will come down as a responsible fathers. Mommy, there will be a big shift and a big change. And yet, because right now, when you look at single mothers, they are struggling too much.
That's true.
They have to work. They have to put food on the table. Some of the fathers, if they don't want to pay child support, they are running away from their responsibility. You see, the difference is here and there. Parents need to submit to themselves. What does it? Young brain, young one say, advancing yami to me, I say. Young man, make wine, no one can say, mommy, any generation, when you ask of wisdom and yami mouth, not what God will teach you the 21st century how you should raise your children, because the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. But if we run away from the whites, from the women, and leave the children alone with them, what can they do? They will do their part.
Pastor, now let me ask you a question, because it seems like, and Wednesday, Mr. Lee really said something that have me thinking from Wednesday up to today. I'm still processing a lot of things. He said that, it's really important for both parents to educate their daughter together, because a mother can tell their daughter the things to look for and to do, but there are other aspects that a mother may not know because the father has been there. So the father also educating the daughter is very important. Do you think that parents, a lot of parents, especially the mothers, we more focus on our daughters to try to educate our daughters to avoid unwanted pregnancy, and fail to educate our sons for them to also learn to have self-control and not go out and impregnate somebody else's daughter? Because it seems like the focus is mostly on the females, and the males, we just let them be.
Is it what the point is making is true, but this is all the things. Once a mother see their daughters as a challenge in their life, and fathers see their sons as a challenge in their life, and so you could see that mothers spend more time on sons to solve them.
Yes,
you get what I mean? And even there are things they do to their sons, they don't do to their husband.
Yes.
What you was here? The way even they can talk to their sons, the way they go crawl, put food for them. Oh, eat a little bit for me. Don't do that. But if you come with the female, the girls, boy, take it. Why? Let's get to the kitchen. You see, sometimes mothers are mean to the girls. And when you look at the other side of this one, when you come with the fathers, they become to be tough on the boys.
And then they soft on the girls.
To the girls.
The princesses, right?
You see, mother will be sitting down saying, but what are you doing? Everything she wants, you give it to her. I mean, why are you helping her? Now, let me tell you something here. Whatever the men do to their boys is they empower them for future responsibility.
So what of the girls?
I'm coming. And whatever the girls, their father do to them, help them to see the kind of soft men.
Mr. Lee, I want you to come on.
Is it soft men or disciplined men that they can marry in their future? what the mothers does to the girls is to equip them when they marry, they will know what to do at home. They will just not tell themselves, let's go to the restaurant and eat. Let's do this, let's do that. A white material, some of them are, hey, let me put food on the table. Some of them are, hey, let's do the laundry together. But when you have a soft and a sweet husband, they are balanced, and so the children both grow to balance. Somebody like me, like Saturday, I have to go to my guest room and tell them, hey, would you have anything to wash? Oh, yes, Daddy, we have. Okay, bring it. The boys, you have something to wash? Okay, bring it. Then I'll take all of them to the laundry room. And
For
I'll
them
tell
to do it.
I'll tell them, these are the white things. We do it this way. You do it that way. You separate the colors from the white things. Then the girl will ask me why. Because I told them, in Africa, we don't use, what do you call it, parasol or whatever, the one that you have to mix it with the soap to make it white. In Africa, we don't use that.
That's blue, right? Is it?
We use blue and omo to wash the things. And so it's like the way things are back home is different from here. But we try to match the culture. Okay? We only Africans, we are having deep problem with our children, sister. When you go to the Asian family, they don't have that problems there.
But why is that? Why is that? Because in Africa, one thing, you said something earlier that triggers something. One thing is that the mothers, we would teach our daughters how to cook and how to certify our men, right? And then the son is being taught how to take care of their wives by just, tongano a important obedi, right? I mean, why is that we have a different expectation for the women, for the females, and a different expectation for the males? So it's our society limiting a lot of things from our children, because many times a lot of daughters lack of a lot of information that they need to be able to take care of themselves, and the male also. I just feel like it needs to be balanced out with the boys and the girls.
Like my home example. The Kaiser one time, my son told me something. That time he was around 5. He said, Daddy, it seems like you love Angel more than me. And I asked him, what is your reason? He said, oh, everything is about Angel. You buy this thing, even when you buy something, you buy it more. When you are going out, you go with Angel. When you are doing this, it's Angel. And sister, that gave me a wake-up call. That gave me a wake-up call, because I don't want my son to have any negative mind concerning a sister or me. And so I explained it to him that, listen, Angel like to be with Daddy too much. Angel want to sit by Daddy. Angel talk to Daddy. You are always on your game. When I tell you, let's go out. Oh, Daddy, I'm okay. You guys can go. And when Angel go out with Daddy, she always gets something.
Pastor, give me a minute. I think when you came in, I didn't give you the topic today, because the topic we're talking about teenagers, any college students, it says a lot of them, many of them, they get involved in casual sex, hookup culture. Like, a lot of them are doing it because there's no connection, there's no promises. You just, have one night stand or rendezvous, or like wham, like something that you do and then you get over it. And a lot of them are having, participating in it. But we also have Brother Ankra, who share an author, Kate Julian, who says that now there seems to be less teenagers and youth, having sex less because they are more focused on their education and also economy. However, when you think about abroad and certain group now, that may be true, but in our society, Ghanaians, is that true? Because you have a lot of parents that don't supervise their kids, or they don't spend that many times with their kids. So it's like, if you are a parent and you hear about this hookup culture, this casual sex, how best can we respond to such practice? Oh, your internet again. Okay, you went off a bit. Hello? Hello? Yeah, it sounds better now. Oh, hello? Okay, call back, because you keep going in and out. Call back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you keep going in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. My vibrant, beautiful, knowledgeable sister, Mama Tess, welcome. Sister Dolly, Sister Alethea, I'm bringing you on. Yeah, that's my bad. Because when Pastor Kwabra Mwakuhin came on, I was talking about monthly, so that kind of like got disrupted. Pastor Mwakuhin, I'll bring you on in a minute. I'm bringing Sister Alethea. Sister Alethea, your thing went off. So let me bring Pastor Mwakuhin in for him to conclude. Then I'll bring someone else in. Hey, boss lady is going on. Yes. And my apology. When you came on, I should have give you the topic that we were discussing, but we just went off from where you came into. So
yeah,
like,
sister, honestly, there are a lot going on. Honestly, there are a lot going on. Both spiritual, physically, material things. And basically, that do for
your line is so bad.
Understand what we are, no? Okay.
You're in. Yeah.
Out now.
You going in and out.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you use?
Know.
Okay, you sound better now. Where you at? Just stand right there. Don't move.
Is it spiritually, physically, materially, a whole lot that is going on? Wow. My challenge today is sometimes what you said, there are a lot of things I try to compare myself. I look at about our Chinese families. I look about our Indian families. I look about the other families. That their children can grow in the same country we are and become who the parents want them to become.
Yes.
And so what is the secret behind it?
Yeah.
But you see, I've diagnosed so much into them, say, what if say can't it is still working in their families. Say the way our parents themselves need self-discipline and self-control. Well, about some of the emotions and understanding and the loss we have, I'm telling you that it's traveling into our children. Here, there are families people Papa Ejane, Mami Noah, Okita Imami Sano, what to mean in Merima Ebako Amofrani Yanketwa. He brings the men into the house to go at least to for the children. And as the children are growing, they begin to adopt certain drama from the parents. Yeah, schools are your man for a colleges, they say no. A home, a year juma, ever honor, a year drama home. A drama home, pa, a year juma. Yeah, what first, so one first year, no. What occasion we are celebrating is just about having fun with sex.
Yes.
They don't know you. I say a society be and our community be in the campus wherever you are coming from, and you can sleep with any boy in that room, how many you want it, if only you can take it from them. Oh, stop these mommy, this because when you try to diagnose it, it is beyond understanding. But this is where I challenge parents there. Limited divorce. We may have our differences. Me said, me worry, but I didn't walk away from my children's life. And up to today, my children are the children. I'm very proud of them.
Amen to that.
But if I should have run away from them now, my girls demand, my boys demand, who is going to provide it for them?
That's true.
And so they begin to take it from friends. Yeah, maybe I get over some 6 girls here. I never knew, say, one in now, all the 6 girlfriends know one in their homes, there is no father there. And so what I do is, once in occasion every month, I organize all of them. We go to the buffet to go and eat. And he give me the privilege to talk to them and to teach them certain things. But look at it, these girls may grow and go to college. What are they going to come out with? And so all of them see my daughter, and always, sometimes, make it a scar. Now, my child, I try to make them feel safe. They have somebody like a father in their life.
That is important.
And so these girls may grow and go to colleges. What do you expect them they will do? What do you expect them to come out from their lives? Fathers are not there to pray for their children. Fathers are not there, to read the word of God, to share with the children. These are some of the things the children, it built them from foundation. And so they will go to the college. People will do it because they know the spirit within them. They will never participate in it. But we have run away from our responsibilities, and we are leaving everything to the women. And the women too, I will plead with them.
That's true.
They should limit friends. In my friends are what they want call overnight sleep. They should stop it.
Oh, thank you.
Some of the houses they take their children out. Mommy, demonic spirit are able to say to you, what to me you bring your nyam. Now what the baby has and so Abu Pharaoh will grow up and become something else.
That's true.
You see, when you go and come about all that, it's about children. Women think that some of them think that they're in America. They don't need men. They can do it. But listen, the responsibility of a man is child's life, and a woman's in child's life, and the two opposite things.
That's true.
We all have to come together and work it so that our children will come back to the cross. At the end of it, they have to know the Lord.
That's right.
Because if they know the Lord, it's the Holy Spirit that will transform them by their mind, renew. Because they will look at Romans 12, chapter 2. We will never be conformed of the things of the world, but we'll be transformed by renewal of our mind. And so the mindset, first of all, when we renew it, it brings liberty, freedom, happiness, peace into us. And parents should know how they can provide for their children. Please. They should know how they can provide for their children because it's very, very, very important.
That's right.
Because I don't have it. Get out from me. Listen, they are our babies. They are our children.
The dismissal.
We decide to bring them. And so it's everything that goes on. No matter differences will be between you and your wife or your wife and the husband, don't take it upon the children.
That's right.
Don't deny the children from their father's right. Yeah. Papa no or Mexico, let the children see their father.
That's right.
Spiritual aspect, there is a cover. It's in man, it's not in woman. Well, you can do your own. That is you as a wife. Allow the father, invite the father into the children's life.
That's
Let
right.
the children have respect for their fathers so that they can live longer. If I'm home, there's an example, sister, I will set it for you. In my own family, things
problem.
that people are doing that is killing their children.
That's right. Hey, we need that Kwemu, right?
Yeah, we need that Kwemu.
And then Pacho, quick, conclude. Never free Kwemu. In fact,
all I'm saying is that we can work something out, and we have to understand each other. The marriage is not about you, it's not about me, but it's about the seed that the Lord has blessed us with, so that we can help them and get to where they want to get to.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
And I apologize for not giving you the rundown what the topic was about. I think I got people excited with my experience. And then Stacy,
Yeah, your experience just kicked me in,
Yes, that's true. God bless you, Pastor Kabana Ofori Mate. Have a blessed one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So I have sister, woman of God, Beatrice Abuaje, and she said, yes, so very true, Sister Adwa. Some of the women deprive the men from seeing their own children, and too bad in the part of those women. I mean, that's a problem, like majority of the time. I don't know why, some women go to that extreme. Just because you are hurt, that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to deprive those children and the father from being able to bond and have connection. Because last Wednesday, Mr. Lee brought up something really important in our children's life that is very essential for both the father and the mother to educate their child together. Because there are some things that the father will be able to provide for the child that will help them in the future. And the same goes with the mother. Many times as mothers, we take on a whole lot of things. And then when the father isolates himself from helping out, we complain. So we need to learn to work together, oneness, when it comes to our children, because our children, we are our children's future success, the foundation that we will build them on. Brother Bafo Echampon said earlier, she said, building a happy home is one of the key foundations for children's total development, which is so very true. Let me make sure, Mr. Lee, I'm not sure if you want to come on and add on, because I don't want to miss that opportunity. And then you have let me see, woman of God Beatrice Awadi also says, yes, the transformation is very important in our life. When Pastor Kwabena Ofori Amoakohin was talking, thank you so much, because you share a lot of information. We deviated off the topic for a bit, but sometimes also it's also good to that can also generate another topic in the future. So I truly appreciate your time and being able to come and share your view and also educate us. Sister Mama Tess, you want to come and let me see. This is not Mate, Mr. Lee, Mate Pa, Mate. The topic it did today's topic did kind of got deviated, and as I said, when I I think I'll take part of the blame. Hey, Mr. Lee, no, you're not going to let it go. Okay. Let me make sure I'm reading. It says, let's encourage our children. She said, let's encourage them and teach them to have patience in their marriages. That's like parents in some, and also our children, in making sure that we teach them patience. A lot of people don't know how to. Don't don't kill me. Hi, Mr. Lee. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
I know I deviate. We deviated so much.
Yeah,
but bring us back. Bring us up. Bring us back, please.
And it happened to be like we were going round, and not taking an angle where we didn't come off the roundabout. We were just going round and round and round and roundabout.
But at some point, we came back, right?
That's right. Even though down that kind of roundabout going, we were trying to pick up bits and pieces that will help. But you know what? Every kind of program that counts, we need to concentrate on the program that is at hand.
That's true.
And when another one shows up, otherwise it's just going to be like a whole lot of things grouped together, and it's a confused.com situation. So
that's true.
We need to realistically deal with one thing,
and then
then we move on to another.
That's right. That's right.
So it's kind of good when someone comes on and don't know, but if even you don't say it out to somebody need to ask, sister, I'm just coming on, so can I get a brief or rebrief of what's going on, so they can straight up enter the traffic and keep running on the highway. You understand?
Note it.
That's right. So like we said the last time, that this is going to be a continuation of what we did before.
Yes.
Now, me for one, I'm talking about parents and the kids, adolescents in the home. Most of parents think like they're very clever with their computer systems, and so they set the kids' phones on like, because of viewing of like you can restrict them on their television, on their mobile phones at home, what they do, what you want them to watch, what kind of sites you don't want them to visit.
That's right.
And when they go out to school or whatever at school, they have kids from other homes who are not restricted, and restrictions are just like saying. But most of the kids are so computergenic that they know when to crack that kind of code on their phones as to not viewing what they are restricted to view. You understand?
That's right.
When they're going back home, they reinstate whatever the code that they broken. They go hack into the code, go do whatever they can and reseal it and make daddy things like, oh man, I have control. So when daddy or mom is talking, say, oh, me or we have control on our kids' phones. We know where this is. No, don't let the green grass fool you.
That's right.
When they go to school or when they are with their colleagues or friends, you don't know what's transpired. So me for one, the bottom line is the fundamental education. The fundamental education about A to Z of life, of human nature, of the anatomy, the functioning of the anatomy. So you see, when the fundamentals start at home and they go to school and lecturers or teachers keep saying things, whatever baffles them or keep reeling in their mind as like something that they don't understand, because they have that kind of dialogue with mom and dad who talks about the same thing one time. You go to daddy is going to tell you perfectly, but daddy is not going to reverse you to say that, no, go to your mom. I can answer this question. And sometimes, if you have ever said to your child that I can't answer this question, go to your dad, you see they will move away from you, start. That is like in their head, they are thinking like, why she said she can't answer? She and Dad, they are one. So I think, or I believe that's the confused state of mind that God have. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So if that kind of education is home, they come home to ask you a question about what they learn at school, how bad and how good it is.
Yes.
So it keeps on and on. So you are trying to kill that inspiring thing when they go out from home. That is just gonna keep them into the stream of following their other friends.
That's
Well, if even they've got these tutorials and it's something into them, and they go out to school, and some of the kids happen to have that kind of jam, they might look at it for the phone's sake. But in the high side, they're thinking like, wow, I know this thing will bring trouble. Because what they're doing or what we're watching right now, I have been told personally, if he don't say or she don't say it out to friends, in their heads personally, they have this thing telling them, I have been warned that this can lead to that and that can lead to that, and then there's trouble. So well, he or she can act like, oh, I'm in the game with you. We are taking a look at it, but in their heads, it's different.
That's right.
So fundamental education is all good. Like your kind of experience you talked about is because that time mom was not there, right?
Yes, she wasn't.
Mom was not there. You happen to be living with somebody.
Yes.
You understand? A family. Yeah. So the thing is, it says, take care of something for me. It's never going to be you yourself taking care of your thing.
Exactly. Yes.
When I bring it down to the tree, it says, somebody anchor to say, wow. So, but that time, if it was mom around, mom would have told you everything about that. So she would have alerted you or bring your mind to up above it that in times like this, when something happens, this is what you got to do, da. You understand? Because if not, how did your big sister got to know about it? Somebody taught her how to do it.
Exactly.
So
my mom taught her.
Come. Yeah, that kind of experiences come. But it's not the fault of the mom or it's not the fault of the dad. But then it's all about the struggle in life. There are situations that will compare a man, a hot sun in Africa, you will see him wearing a crocodile skin jacket. Do you think it's his wish to wear that jacket that's making him sweat? No. There isn't anything they got to wear. That's made them wear the crocodile skin jacket. That's right. So your case is one of the others. A lot of people have had experiences, but we're talking basically, if you've had experience and now you are in a home where daddy and you as a mom have to bring out your kids, we're talking about how you're going to polish them, style them, tune them, and release them into their future.
That's right. That's right.
Of importance. So fundamentally, we talk to them about everything. It's sex thing that is always a problem to be discussed in the home. Yeah. I know it's a sex. Because sometimes even two a husband and a wife even don't talk this into this aspect. How about they coming together to talk to their kids? In times a kid will come ask that is some question. That is say, you know what, you go to your mom. And mom also will say, oh, for instance, a child came from school, asked the dad here in England that how do you make kids? Daddy said, this question I think is too big for me. Go ask the mom. It was the daddy who was telling me all this. Yes. Before the child turned around, he asked the daddy, why do I have to go ask mom? He said, I say, go ask the mom. And child went. So when he reported the question back to the dad, means like, daddy, you know something, you are hiding. You see, because daddy was underestimating the child being like somebody who don't know nothing. When he went to the mom says, oh yes, me and daddy come together and then we make you. And then the child says, is that all? Mom said, yes. I've told you all, this is what I know. He said, so mom, you want to tell me this is all you know? He said, yes. He said, no, mom, this is not all you know. Meanwhile, why this child have had that kind of educated thing at school. And want to have a thorough investigative understanding from mom and dad.
That's right.
They didn't tell him. Because when he was persistent with mom to say, Mom, no, you know? But later, Daniel mom was sitting in the hall, and this same child came again up to them, pulled that little scooping chair and sat there and said, Mom and Dad, you know what? You guys don't want to tell me the truth, but I know it all. I just want you to tell me what I don't understand it, because I didn't have a chance to ask teacher all these kind of questions. They said, okay, tell us what you know. Then this child started elaborating on what was told. How the spermatozoas, how they can flow around the ovaries, and what happens before they start flowing. Well, I mean, he told them everything. And they were like amazed.
Of course.
And he called me and said, but how is it that as early as this thing is teaching the second different are coming in the school for these our kids in abroad? Back then in Africa, we don't do this. Why? I said, look, my friend, is it not good for you to have listened? Is it not good for you to have listened to your child, whatever they brought to you, and tell them the truth? And tell them, analyzing the factual facts about if you do this, what they taught you, if this and this, you see, I have you here, you and me and mommy have you, because I have money in my pocket to take care of you. I have done my best to sustain you, because I work myself through this thing. I don't do it because I know when the trouble comes, there's going to be this.
That's right.
But child didn't have it. And then he had the power even to come and sit there and educate you about what he has known, which you guys says you don't know. I'm teaching you now.
Yeah,
you understand? And this same person, they have the case room is just closer to theirs. And it's like the walls of this kind of newly built houses in England, Europe, America is more wood than cement, as like in Ghana, right? Because of the cold situations that come.
That's right.
And mom and dad, in the middle of the night, were having it. And, you know, they were having it, and, you know, that kind of screams and moans and all that was going on. And this same kid, they have two boys and a girl. The girl's room is far, but the two boys' room closer.
They can hear what's going on. Oh, dear Lord.
And so, I think he told me he had the toilet flushed. So knowing that one who came home asking questions, went to the toilet and used the toilet middle of the night. So he heard what was going on. Quick asked a question now. You know, he wanted to know, curious. And he asked mom again. This middle of the night, I hear you were like crying and I mean, what was happening? And there was like a struggle. He said, me and dad were having a ransom.
What?
He said, ransom? It's ransom in the middle of the night? I mean, he knows already that they say it's a sex scene between daddy and mommy.
Yes.
And daddy will inject his sperm through moms, and then sperm starts flowing and going right the ovaries and all that kind of thing. So he asked the question, all you got to do is, well, me and your dad, we were having an entertainment for this and that. But it is we as adults who have worked ourselves to this level to be able to do it, because what daddy was doing to me in there, if something comes on like I'm pregnant, he is responsible. He's going to take charge of everything. So he is capable of doing it. I hope you understand me. Okay?
I hear you, brother. Mr. Lee, brother, Nana very much said you go kill person.
Nana, I'm sorry about that. But you see, the truth is always the truth. So if you have explained to the child, then you know, okay, because they know. Sometimes kids who don't talk, they hear your mommy and dad, maybe they are close around, or they hear something going on in the morning when they wake up and your mommy pass, or you're talking to her or him, it's looking blankly at your face like that.
Oh, see, yeah, mama and papa, dear girl.
But I'm going to say, and I'm also one cancer. And you know, one in US right now, a kid have had something going on. He will not ask a question, she will not ask a question, but in the morning, when they see you, the mom, they look at you like you've done something wrong, suspiciously.
Of course.
If you don't feel it, you open your eyes, you will see.
That's right.
They're looking at you and thinking like, hey man, what we for the pound? You don't know what they are thinking. Hey, daddy, we are bad pound. Daddy, in their head. So you see, if they know these things and you tend to like impact them with ideas, because and it wouldn't be a secret for them not to know that these are the right and wrongs about this issue.
That's true.
We are doing it. Again, here was intimidated by friends at school. And the first time, a pastor's daughter, the first time she was going to do it, she got pregnant.
Sister Mama tells me, says she they laugh, so she go enter TV cry. What's Rihanna?
I'm sorry. We are talking the truth. The first time this girl did it, she got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yet there are several call the parents, parents here or no. Very innocent girl. But because of peer pressure, one of the friends, and the HFI, and on the also, or maybe that boy who calls and now because that parental sort of fundamental teaching
was not there.
Yes, so mommy, one papa and some parents like I think they miss about hey, me do me. I think how you go hospital, doctor Fioni. Now, assembly they define. Why? We are born in also. Only another church member's son. Oh, and just somebody. Okay, we have to deal with this thing behind closed doors.
What?
I'm telling you, they say I and talk about the
I will phone in them
because church member no concern about them because everybody say on your just
by force.
And so you understand?
Yes.
And you know, when we start to talk to kids deeply, let's go down to it because I tell you about this. And then a great time, why impacting? This is why I put the impact. Why impacting with the power and the knowledge of what you want them to be or what they will be, continue to their future things.
That's right.
Well, and you know, like we are continuing, a whole lot of people are right there listening. Maybe they will want to come and share a view or opinions. But I'm still listening.
Mate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Hey, Mr. Lee, you know.
But Pastor Okoye, I say, oh no, the enemy is soft. The enemy is soft. Oh no, the Kaka Motubino. And I'm more I say, but I say, we have Kaka Motubi, have to.
Hey, poor Mr. Lee. But I think so, okay, you know, or explaining, say, or you're flexible.
Or you're flexible, or the Kaka Motubi is flexible. Let's just say, Oman shower. Now, we are mine. And I just say, I don't know about say, I don't know. Papa, I say, Papa, no. Flexibility, no. It's all dialogue. You understand?
Yes.
It's all dialogue. Sometimes, you know, like I said before this program, I said, and Kikamu to a panel. And no entering position. Because opportunity, wow, I said to know. And Get it out, kick him. That's how they person no one. And that's my body by get it out, kick him, sir. Who can tell me next time? I'll take you. Who can say what you are shouting about, OT? But come on, sit down, Johnny. Let's talk about it. Johnny, what's up with you? That's how things are. I don't know, Johnny is listening, you know?
That's
But
true.
when we have that, we will kick him. Let's just say, one of the government or one of they know the power of discipline. Or maybe say,
and then some mothers also do that. They limit themselves and enable their partner for them to, which is very bad.
Yes, I know. Now the technique of collecting or correcting a child at home. Now got that.
Back also. Got it.
Wow. And the sound in the bar. Obey them one boy and run out. But which we all have to understand. So who thinks as a man, we get soft. And that's all we get or German, but I know one-on-one. Mommy, hey, and some can you look at crowd because said you are, but I don't know. And so sometimes you put things right, so wrong is wrong. And young people trying to say, but what will you understand?
Yeah.
Then it is like you are making them listen. But so you announce now, over clock, now over Shatu, a group and Maswa. What kind of woman are you bringing out to the world?
Yeah.
What kind of woman are you going to bring? Because you are bringing a woman of hot temper.
That's right.
So no some kid not Jim, because this is what my mom was doing to me.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still in me. Why no so bad? Who's have a guy who say quantity? Tibo. Let's just say, about the baby, about the car, you understand? And you know, there is too much to learn as we are going on.
That's right.
The topic is and you know, it shouldn't have to be a one-arm thing. Two people who make up. Now, when you're
casual sex.
The question is,
yeah.
And more say, at the end of a normal, a natural. Put sinfulness aside.
That's right.
And this is Papa, I say it's normal. I've been told already. And I get it's been normal. But I also wrestling in the middle of the night. And all of a sudden, at this time of the weather, you are wrestling with that. Come on, man. And the one who said, come on, man. Then I just say, hey, Matu, hold it for me. What do you say? Bye-bye.
Oh my, that was Mr. Lee. Hey, answer Mr. Lee Bekumio. Sis, I'm bringing you on. Oh boy. So parents, we also have to educate sis. Me pacho, me fa and me twaso na me sitting kweshe TV mo me pacho. Oh, my beautiful sister.
I'm not really feeling well.
Oh, no. Sorry.
When they want those things, make sure will be
it was so. Welcome, yes, my beautiful sister Rosemary, and welcome. Sister Akusha Williams, the knowledgeable, beautiful one. Welcome. Oh, so Mama test just went off. Hey, so Mr. Lee Bikumi. Oh boy. So oh my goodness gracious. All right. Let me bring her back on for her to share her views. Sis.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joso.
Drunk and ready, sir. My setting me a free TV because Mr. Lee, mommy.
Mr. Lee, too much.
Thank God I don't have no cats or something. I'm perfect, man. Mr. Lee was go. I'm on for already. I've said a lot. They have said it all. I would say. Now, this
is what exactly I was talking to my friend yesterday about this.
Oh, and yes, sister, line and yes, study cry. Me who need to and yes, study no. Okay, so over Casana, I can't say. Try.
I don't know. I am not catching me.
Says, as a man over can we more do in tia.
Okay, also, I said, my fans especially and cry a woman was saying, your Barbara Chilla, Gamma for young parties here. Young parties here about cry into no. So, me back Roman say no, and I'm sure how a Croman among cry life is here.
Oh. As some more. Me who need tia. And that's a meme line on a catty, me sister. Kitwa offie. Meaning the intia. Oba no ne line into me yesterday no. Internet yesterday. Sis, what to make her? Oh, and there are some cranny, eh? Let me see. Sis me who near Koso. Minim sa me side o. Minim sa me side o so side o. I don't know.
Why are confused of comfort actually
wait dear. Asa na me kasa sama be kan e mu oduntia.
Also Facebook crack at say Facebook me closing and I'm signing. Oh, what's going on?
I see.
Yeah.
But I can say internet, internet.
Yeah, Miss me will fear me full Wi-Fi internet.
Okay, so say you're good into the casa. Me and we see now. Yem Paddish, Ghana for Yem Paddish.
Also, Ghana for Yem Paddish, Mamma. So, Cromana, Unya Shas, now study Croman Cola. What shall see as a Obey different, obey training woman different. Because maybe a Croman, no, Michelle Croman crack, let me sabat Michelle Croman crack, once you do musicasa, or money, enemy, be praying, especially the ones that woman proper training.
Metokasa, are we okay? Says, oh, and they are crying. And then the says, as a man will be candidate. It's Brother Yao, Safari, welcome. My dear brother, Rafia, yeah, well, welcome. Thank you, Sister Rose Empire. I believe both parents are not in love. How can they teach their children love? As someone who can, okay, let's try Sister Kemama test.
Facebook because I am a Facebook closely.
Oh.
Yeah, Facebook phone if you Facebook end.
Normal I can't okay. Yeah. She's back, Mr. Lee.
Oba ma say yesterday Chroma no mon ya. Ye niama bebre no. Ye ena say you ready to see besua. Ye niam ye ma no mo ni free ensam. Ena say sabi ye dai sabi. Eniama ye di free ye di aswa ye tiri abrochira every Ghana abedu Chroma no na. Ye ba ye niama different because you tete ye kasa. Today, city or a Ghana, a cassa, no, a book class, no, See, you're back home and baby one night, okay? It's not there. My main course, I make class 3. And main class, I'm perfect. Obi, you know, be a perfect.
Most definitely.
But Obama entity, in shrunken, I'm a demi, and I may husband so when you grow man winter. Which I want also as why. And I'm saying, you know what, me to tell me this way, me woman is like, you know, and never one of them as I'm a captive from my life.
Mr. Lee said, "Will be I complaint, you know, I check with them afterwards."
Someone you could complain about.
Also, sometimes we no for be flag because we you know maybe more than them unti ahoya anti no. Oh, Yes, it's our time. I was I say sorry. Sorry, sis. Any my tune. Anasemia. This is me, right? Mama Mercy. Mama, I see it. Mama Mercy, welcome. And we will say, Pepe. Our sister internet is like in and out, and you know, it's giving her a hard time for her to like share her views. But it's very true to say sometimes, you know, our Ghanaian community, you know, like when we travel abroad now, sometimes some people, the tradition and the culture, the ones that are not even good now, they carry over abroad and they don't make any changes to very much so learn other ways.
Okay, hold on. Mr. Lee, so be I complain about me tonight. I don't back on one year or because I
someone
one even I'm a dear you be. Make out me did you be at them. 18 is a wire complainer. One back on your complaint. Wow, lie. Okay. Anyways, my check with Facebook. Some people are just stupid. I don't know. My papa may not. Me do be at a man could be once and I mean, you're shame. Until anyways, I will check on my wasting. Community is.
Oh boy. Okay. My dear sister, Farah, I'm watching. She said, Papa Lee, both parents are not in love. How can they teach their children love? That's a really good question. I mean, in order for one to teach other, or in order for a parent to teach their children how to love, they will have to know the meaning and have understanding of love. Many times you have some parents that have knowledge of what love is about, but they have lost their way. They were not able to basically live up to that potential. So like, you know, they have this negative feelings and vibe about their partner, and then they talk to their children about what their father or their mother is doing wrong, which is very wrong. A parent should not put their children between their problems, their ongoing on feel or whatever. As parents, it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to raise our kids, to build a foundation, a healthy, strong, structured foundation for our children. In order for us to, in order for those children to know what is what. First,
We feel like or 4 lines in the meeting about so now. I forget about the video.
Friend me want me phone, I WhatsApp and so. Okay, bye. Mr. Lee, I'll call you once I just Mama Tess finished. Let me Yeah, sis.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Lee, after
I'll bring her on. Oh,
okay.
he said he had to go.
One, and crying to TM. Yes, studying Yama be free. And now, our say, before we bet me at a tenny bay, no Casano. The way I would turn out to say the city, I am nice if you're at the TMO.
And you will buy.
I would do fee the same thing. And I'll back. And I will back a benny. It's in a subby, so mamma, because when Sebi, I may yet not see me try some to my good. Make me can't draw. And I'll grab a glass or so will read from his Yamame and I, papa, or yet, what can't see anything, but no, there were no other way around. It doesn't make sense. It's no say, yeah, but say, your man or more upbringing. Positive. Yeah, as parents, we have to be positive parent too.
That's right.
Yen to me, I see anyhow. Yen to me talk anyhow. Yeah, customer and Kulano and you at the anyway. Yes, so soon as they making sure that the same at the enemy. I dare see it through and you pass here. And yes, I said, who switch a woman now would you would it? And yes, I know such an Uncle if you made the Asho, but to much was the mamma panting, why all right? And Papa, all right. Because anyone who has some, it doesn't match your personality. It's in the how only in United States. Yeah, as parents, your person, your man. More upbringing, ever positive. Emma, we are saying, now local school, or must area away from bad friends. Yeah, what are we setting? What a good example are we setting to them? So, yes, so by your ma will turn out to be like us.
That's right. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and I say, my high school, my background, I'm very high school, and I was going through many man and my graduation pictures. The man was so wow, Mama, I'm so I was starting to know what when I'm so I graduated, was and I'm so person I graduated
you see.
Almost 3 months ago, my papa and the crying academy, mommy, it's Diana, Mayor. So I graduated, she said, I will graduate here, and I was saying, I'm saying, then I say, Ube follow orders.
That's right.
Ube stay positive. Say, I didn't add, they said, you too, you can do it. You can achieve anything because they will put too hard to it. Now, won't be any part of bullying, anyway, uncle class. We got talking back to teachers. We are signing my way. Now we are determined. You can do it. Now so I graduated. Said the whole semester, now so I said, and then it's yeah, how you know, it's Eddie Moyena, a parents is soup any a pint, any a man, and I want to say, Yanni, I walk British animal, Yankan will say, my father's, I answer the whole world. Oh, don't put in your head and say, I hate that word.
Yeah. I see a chair, my dear.
Oh, sacred is so, sir. Excuse you. What is that? Me say, me what? Doctor, you will too from. Now we are me say when you because we don't quite yet see everything is super. It's in mommy from day one. I don't talk to my kids as the so we can no, me no casasa penini. Me no casasa penini. Because the last time we catch us once in a while, most of you might did that for more, but for no more you money. It's a me come then I'm going to say, oh, my causes are twice to be a good form one. It will come and say, more, maybe you see, I know, made the rules for Fraba. Because I'm near my go from. That's a more, now what that number far. Me far, it doesn't matter, say your homework, you say your water, you say your school bag, you whatever it is, your tablet, metama otobola. And one of you know when I was watching my mean, I'm saying yes, because I can't open, I can't manage that from one. And my own month, and call Emma. It's a that from one hour you when you know, it's telling me, say, it's in a walla. And I'm a catch me about a pay, oh, cry, some who says, Sabby, wake up, dear. And that for my tomato ball, I was saying, what was it? My mother is a mamma, I'll come to ball, a baby, I do, so I'm saying, so just for me, how dear, and you're over cloud, so it's in a Mecasano, and no realizes that me flew more than what I want to see it, but a penny say, okay. You're twice near the Akuku Yadamon, you could pick it out from the floor, and I'm somewhat classy.
I'm proud.
Mammy, young Colano to me and penny for. Woman and penny for say, Bibi they know much better than us. We are ahead of the game. We don't know nothing. And then for 2 years of for baby ask you baby over what was what I'm not going for cry mediano.
When you say you
it's no Ghana for your brain in your manner, your boo, so we are.
That's right, Mr. Lee.
And only a problem. Mama, my young we are man, so we young, and you're good. Yes, I'm not limit to woman. And yes, Mr. Lee, we shouldn't limit our kids.
That's
they
right.
Know much better. We are very smart. They be a minimum say, you call your trust and machine, the business will soon, you know, and they be a margin so they are ahead of the game. Now, Mama, Muglano, Buakra, sir, when you need.
Thank you. Thank you, sis.
No, like said, when the same thing apply to your kids.
That's right.
For as parent, but I know so it doesn't mean where you slave.
Yeah, mommy ne pacho bra, me no wakasa.
Excuse you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. No, me power chow. Number chow. Wofa ancient in Monosu go for now. So for me, pacho, so
I asked some more.
They turn up to be the
the other bet the other bet show us and one or Mudini.
And one way also as parents. One of watch them now. Impossible 8 months I could
Mr. Lee, some man yakaka to view. Don't be kaka to be in your home. Or Debbie, I think he's saying it in general. Don't be kakamo to be in your home.
Don't be kakamo to be. Yeah, I know. So now, because come on, I'm going through fear. It's most of the time, me, the man of my pet is, and then I go through fear. And the yen united, and one yen united will be my country. I'm say, Upe Conte is in Pefu, then Papa, come by me and said, it's not going
to. Yeah.
It's no Miss Salamo, Kakrame one, Sabancha Pisena, yen united now near the Bancha Piseno, because tomorrow is another day. Even to me, I yet the other. Mama, Yamanaste, or your BB, I know Master. Yes, Mamma, me and poor macho. Yes, from my poor macho. My mamma, me patoma.
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Lee, dialoguing.
Now, young poor macho. I ask I know mammy booming, papa booming. It is the same respect now you give it to them.
They're going to give back. Yeah. That's right. Thank you, sis. don't show respect. Ampa.
It's one also responded. Or say, yes, monkey see monkey do. It is your woman.
Yeah, cotton one ma.
What on one ma, mammy, and two. Or say, Chrome uncle, Sabi, I am not. One show me, I know my burden on you. Don't let your kid be burden on you. Know from day one till I know how to clean. Mammy, I'm a ba, usa, one who's so say. And so for I always say this, and people think I'm crazy. And Obama, it has worked for me.
That's right, Mr. Lee.
Omani is so keke, and so for I don't clean it. We are new born. I will just go take a paper towel, and I will wipe it. Now they are 2 hours, so now do baby hands and all. I just say, paper. Mommy, believe in me, say, me matter way. If he, pen.
Because all the show must say, all the attitude of my.
Will be our more apply the fear. It was a coming cassa. Yes, it will be Fiana, the Pesamica say, me fear on the Macahan in Abu Musana, or one with some because to be found Mamma higher Taisano. Yes, me fear for it. Mamma, me fear I first time, dear Mamma. Oh, no more than I make up. The end right and now.
On better match, you see?
Actually, now, Mamma, sometimes more cleaning and miss every animal floor. What's a more damn animal comes to mommy, Papa Shadi. Now, or more yellow, okay, tell Catawani.
Wow.
And I'm a man of Catawani, it is because my cleaner.
They want to surprise you. Oh, my goodness.
Mom, to play with the kids and all. What they make some head be my little to every we drew my head through garage, a storage room. No head corral, no much else, no we count.
Yes, Mr. Lee, you're right.
Now, almost almost now I had that to now like before when they were living alone, I said, I'm best almost mommy, okay, be when you have be when it's fun.
Yes, you have good foundation, respect, and also principles. You have things in place like structure. Everything is structure.
Mommy, Mama, you're taking your serious. It's bad. Say, come me, Subai, and Tessami to me apply that in them. No,
that's true.
And I hate the fact to say, Obana bear Mamutifi. Now, and when it comes to the kids, we'll be arguing. Mr. Lee, I tell what I cry.
Yeah.
So, our reform will not fear. Now, about as well, party. Now, we're showing out the corner and one who cannot learn. And you can call you know how you can say yes.
Oh, being on the same page. That's right.
Being on the same page.
Oneness.
And run if you on because and my grandma will say, hey, my mom and papa, you cannot mess up with them because change your margin.
That's right.
Their yes is their yes, their no is their no. No matter what you do,
most definitely. And that's how it should be.
Yeah, parents and my about stay at the same page. My back place our angel. Now, won't say what a partner. No,
thank you, Mr. Lee.
Mama, you. But what I say now, some now will catch a warm idea. No, favor now, favor woman. Almost 80. Mammy, dear one yet. But that is your you who call no castle to be a mammy can no crowd that is to be my and now that is your new mommy oh come on now to be not why daddy can no crowd mommy to be my me patch out. You are not doing your kids a favor.
No.
Rather you are telling them. And what the difference is you're putting the two differences between you and your husband.
Yeah.
One little husband and the devil, and now one little you as the devil.
Thank you.
Confusion.
Confusion.
And now they one clan.
Yeah.
You need the same page in every one of them. Say your money party free and somewhere.
Oh boy, that's terrible.
We should stick to our way. Let us say stick it to it.
Yes.
Also, play tricks on us.
Of course, they smart. They smart.
Oh, what was I now said there? You know what? What for more than a chap what them kick out?
Me, Ubesun moja. Usumia, we will talk.
Mommy, what did I say? Maybe I'm a man. Oh, yes, Allah. Do you know what I do? We don't want to form some jam and what to form. Trust me. Oh, what the hell? You don't know.
Temper tantrum. So role modeling is important. Mr. Lee put it out there.
Yeah, Mr. What the idea? Now, Mr. Debbie, I may be Billy, no what Chia, no, inside the name or every bit proud. Now, what John want to form now, Mr. Holmes, what I from. With the boy, I remember saying, if I pay you, I've got it in the bar. Why, I asked I was to a giant Nissan,
What a good way to distract your child from throwing temper tantrum. Yeah, but sis, it's not going to work on a teenager.
Mommy, what should you wait till
they are teenagers? Once you start from the little at the early age, it's not going to happen in the teenage years.
When you start from the teenager, and yet the only teenagers.
Say I will fully be a honoma, and yes, good foundation, and shasi at the early age. I cried through teenage years, Simono. Now, if no, by shasi, actually, way, and you sometimes lay too late.
At that time, over to me, I try a possible best. It's not like
yes. That's right. Yeah.
And unless all the man, what's then deal with it. You just have to deal with it. It's your man entity, you almost teenage level, it starts from now. Who want it to or shall we have who want it to as a baby from day one, it starts from there. Man, find so to say when you go in the 4 years, and I start treating this time the account. It's a lie.
That's right.
Well, yeah, no, the BNO catch and I know someone to respond back to you. But when you what they're working on. Now, when you apply, they now come from the baby time, I bet you will shock. I bet you will shock.
Mr. Lee. Hey, Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee is saying,
Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee is saying or say this is.
No, I say, and a lack of wisdom from God, Emma, yeah, Brian, we are here, Breno, and you'll be out. What say? You act different, you talk different. What to say? Why you will be perfect, but you will not apply to your kids. Don't give you the wisdom to raise your kids. Nyame gives you the wisdom. What one of us when Nyame tomorrow, Nyame director, there be a say, Nyame tomorrow on a dress. On a cassa or cassafu and Momo be cassa. When you are some other catch any pan, and young crew, when you panabla, and an issue when you panabla. It's the hands of God. It is a winning Yamia, and not see another problem. Winning Yamia, a hard drain. Because them, another winning Yamina, it has a common empty. It's one cassa with the wild journey, and then you be a ship. And I said, Yamia, or come and empty of a deɛ wabɛtena hɔ nom no wɔntumi mmoa wo ma womfa nkora anamɔ ɛnsisi yie ɛti no as parents before yɛbɛhyɛ ase awo moma yɛnhwɛ yɛ nyankopɔn akyira kwan na ɔmbɛdirect yɛ ɛwɔ yɛ ma no nteteɛ because me ne me ma yi te fie anom yɛ a masom adwom yi sidi a obi ka sɛ meba de wɔ ha adwene mentimi nkaa bi da no ɛnyɛ mahoɔden ɛnyɛ me nyansa ɛnyɛ me tumi na mmom ɛyɛ awurade no da woma ɛna wɔdirect me how a mesi ayɛ a ɛbɛboa me ama me som asomdwie because oba ha adwene a ɛyɛ a ɛdistable because 2 seconds behind you're thinking, how am I going to get this case straight? You just need God. That's it. Parent, what I say, now about encouragement
and compliment.
Encouraging you put any effort as you ever see how is it gonna work?
Criticize you more.
The parent just interview you. What's going to us? Obabedi, and Okamba so now, Mamma Papa. Obani Timmy, devote your time, Emma Corano, and Emma Mano. It is a more parent, Juma. The day and crying and crying, 1 hour to take a day off from work. And Kulano, those every Kulano, and you be serious, but please show your presence in your kids' school.
It motivates them.
What a one more 8 now, Uber sit there because we can call me money school. Omo ya be right mo one mo na omo toto mani ehwe me
ampa
omo gase me baya it is a woman who said and then you see that smile on their face.
That's right, their facial expression changes.
Ghana for you so busy na me person ko see
mention
ana dia me ya na samase na wo ko see Ghana what ya go chire no
on tina
and what in kafla dem mentally
enkura
also abrochena what be akranye
ampa
before I went to Ghana, I'll make sure that why establish so baby I would say, the year, what did ye, also what year, then what are your investment or Ghana? What if you tell Mama, dear, and some want in Ghana because the Tiano Mamma no reality, and Rania dear. Any emirates, Bibi met me so much, and I'll be no car, what I could swallow. One young put down for what could trick on. It's not until every day any year. Oh, baby, I see a baby, I bet a bit to be on a way for you.
That's right.
Baby, I see. You make sure
you invest it. We investing.
You invest on her, Mammy, shall go school. Now you can't say be or your lack on reading, BBA. Try your possible best. Again, I may have me back to see what's in your best as you're reading. Says the camera also the water. I would see down. Stop it. Now, I say teacher, now extra teacher, now
and I said program here and part.
Program be a which ya, ya show one. Says the camera go down and make patch or jive for now. Never question. Says school, ya no say no. The man called Come on, only math and English. And I already know only in French school.
Yeah.
It's in a French school, no. After French school, you know, almost math and English classes. I'm every month 3 kids. And but you know what? I don't mean to Ghana and make me go to the castle. My castle, Eddie, Missika, guess I'm the quiet dino, make a year to say me person who do because maybe 8 years. Who put in any math questioner. Wakachana ni say your answer no dey blow.
Wow.
And the fact and you so good say woman is to calculate no. You what to say the Ghana you know. What do I get in the calculate you know. So it's no my university I do this with my kids and I love it. They love it almost also. Once in a while we have a meeting. We know you have a meeting. Your meeting, no me do mo ba me dem aka. No ma begus no mo e dey na e koso. Sorry baba.
It's okay.
E dey na e bi amema ya manye ni yi e bi mo e so mo kan chere me. Sorry people.
She has her cold.
Yeah. E dey na me ya minye ni ya we say. E bi mo kan chere me. And I say, "Obi a no mu bibi a ebi omu you official make chere me. Yan kasa obi afa na adwema maame we talk me I make jokes me aside me upon. Some me no so one.
Brother Daniel Kwame, welcome. Okay, Brother Benjamin Sifi.
Mama ya talk to our kids. Mama ya form as friends. Mommy, because I'm a family man as friends, me hallway has me third friends and it's the same lane, but me hallway.
Yeah.
And mommy, Benny told me that mommy, I want to go visit my friends.
Any conferences of my a sleepover, no visiting because you mean nipa says to buy or what's that? Nadam for ni fear honor near.
Maka ya ka chano ya said Mr. Ya cannot creno. Abonte ho no maka cho say abonte ho ye very scary. Udi nchima agoro bedim.
Ampa.
Udi nchima abonte ho no na obi bema ora ho ho. 1 year once you are there school. I said school you are not there for friends. The only friends you are allowed to take in school is say, "Obi ana we lack we short of something." And then so
yeah. Obi onima de no na ade ho bono.
Obi a onima de no na ade ho bono na ode ho bono no. Enye
men fan is suban ampa.
Aya adisua ade na onima na wo ko wiya bi. Na enye ni suban.
That's right.
Wo de wo ko wiya de onima na na wo dwane. Enye ni suban ti na wo ko.
Who come here?
Yes, what do why be our Nadia or Martha, on Nadia English or French, and won't hear you're French and ask them now the walk. Now, what do you want out from you? French now will be no son of crown and I will go real. But in Subai, dear, and fat, who had any Subai, yeah, and foul side of Kenny Subai. Me can of grandchildren Corano. Me papa is about Mr. Adra, why you know once you had the hour. Melo, oh, my young said the Amonano. I wish my parents was around to invest in me, said the Mania, but their mamma. And I was there, you proclaim on a Muslim Corano. Would your students, who go square for any two from national me, would do all of now. Omo lucky a lot because omo mama omo papa any time omo won. It is a time now me won mama no. Value it. Never say yes. My mom is doing her possible best. The me your mom no kura na nyina na enya kura ni nyina na enya no say the wanya no. So count yourself as a lucky person. Now take advantage of my time no. Because if you buy a grandma or shaman, you walk up, me time on every mouth. Now they are confused. It will take time because tomorrow, who knows? We don't know. It's an almost do your possible best. Make us be is there, and yes, be a metal. And I say, we and I do too much work. No, we hear you, Mama, yen Cassantra Grano. There's the one you know, one go school. I'm for one Cassa 1 night and see ya. We are back. I'm a member of it to San, no, Bassa. It's only a walk of if you need below the cocaine, you read. Every one now, or perfect to sell.
And I say, I real crab is a besa.
Na abesa, no way basa. I'm a question, 8 years. My last one of 5 years. Only I catch the same thing. Me catch up. What you see, no matter. Meaning that as time goes on, I won't match on your understand. When mommy used to say this, she's right. You know, I'm going to say this. My papa is the same as I say wrong. And I'll go to school now. That would be extra 2 years. And audition is to me, Arsenal. Now, don't forget the $1 was the $5 best school say, took ferry in the Diablo. Wait, Madame Fasuma see, or I, Yan go school. The city audition is to me, I say, took ferry in a cigar blend of Siadra, and Yano Crab, no mammy, and I papa. And then this is just our. Oh, yeah, me, my man, from day one, they know that Santa is not real. Yeah, you have to be realistic with them. Oh, it's not real. Idea, any no crime, woman, yes, so it's not to know. Oh, yes, I was a dream. Mr. Diamawa, yes, I appreciated the Mama. Hello, Auntie. Santa is not Santa. I am a Misika, I am a sweat, and I'm the Atama, so appreciate you. Open your chi, sister running it up, Mamma. Facebook, I try not to be on too long, but it's a me call. I'm running call. Okay, you know, the American said, oh, yeah, me catch a no, was any situation, I'm a make is a two ferry, real one, you. Anna, what the question is to me, no, now. All I have to do is record them one. Check it. Anyway, blanket in for me with not Madame. It's I went 2-3 days time about hey, mommy. And I'm serious. When you say you are right, and I was saying you're right about what? Or say, Miss Senior 2 years, I'm going to my to know. But the question is to me, I say, but. Wow, you see? I'm glad they said you put it into practice. Say, I'm always say, oh, mommy, I will never lie to you. Amen to that. It's so why would you put it into practice? I am very good. Say, one can trash here. Next time, we can be beaten out now because you know my mom doesn't lie. It's in a nutshell, no. Mama, yes, parents. You invest on them. Who parent, and I will transfer their home. Parents, your man, Oma, you take it time. And I used to soon carry and some and try. I'm not from the bus message, and I did, and I'm about way, and I know myself. Anyways, Yamin 2 1 I won't cut a good them. Mama, your man, any cafe. Mama, your man, any cafe. No money. Mama, your form as friends, or my best friend. And uno as a sound now for me good parents, make the sound will now form a good fee. Then I can't show my master what they want to allow some of friends. That's right. It's model monkey do. The overcoming make sure say also who apply the same thing for yourself. Say and you're confused. Parents are Banu Kulamujina and Crananim, editing what either some of Jawariano, and I said, Oba finding a way to solve your problem. Yesterday, last night, I was telling my friend, he said, Unu Kumufa, don't show it to you or master will do a food. And a man, or by my mistake, I make a room. That is so not right. So stop it.
critics. That's toxic. That's toxic. Cut it out. Sister, that's it. Yeah, Mama Tess. Ghana Life FM. Bye says tonight at 8 p.m. Make sure you tune in. Mawanida ho. Mr. Lee, I no longer see you. I no longer see you, Mr. Lee. I only see Openi Oche. And then I'm going to close out. And then like I didn't even plan to be on this long, but sometimes when you come and the conversation, the way the discussion is going, it just keep on and on and on and on. So overall, I mean, this topic is broad, and I don't think so part 1 and part 2 is going to kick it or fix it or give, but there's a lot of information that has been shared in the part 1 and part 2 that can help parents, a lot of parents out there, to be able to shape themselves. If you haven't done some of the things that we have discussed, it's important to do so. Having a solid structure, productive foundation with our children is very important. As our sister was saying, Mr. Lee, and then we have Pastor Ofori. When you start the foundation from early age in that, it's going to decrease this hookup culture. Our children will hear about it, they will know about it, but they will make the right decision to not participate in such thing. And also raising our kids. For me, like a lot of Christians out there, but there are a lot of Christians who also do not have better understanding when it comes with the Word of God. When you embedded the Word of God in your children, you raise them with better understanding and the wisdom of the words. They will in turn will grow up and be able to practice and apply that for themselves and also their future family. However we raise our kids, that's how they're going to grow up. We have some parents who tends to buy their kids love. Like if a child does something wrong, we have parents that work different, they have different style. Having different style is okay because we have some parents that are more nurturing. It's mostly the mothers. We're more nurturing and we want to protect our children. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we teach our children how to be independent, to love themselves and not listen to what the outside world is telling them, not to mimic what this celebrity is doing. Like when it comes to clothing wear, you buy what you can afford. Our sister Gifty Afriye came on earlier. She talked about self-confidence, self-value. It's very important. Anything that parents we do at home, our children are watching us. And they are going to mimic certain things. And we need to be, Mr. Lee put it right, role modeling. We have to role model in our home. We cannot tell our children one thing and then we doing another. Whatever expectation we set for our children, we also need to be practicing the same thing. We can't confuse our children and confuse ourselves. I mean, parents who have different style, it's okay, but the two of you have to learn to be on the same page. And one cannot be, Mr. Lee said, kaka mutobi, and the other one being too soft. We, the adults, need to have conversation and making sure that we have in dialogue You talk with one another, you understand one another, you bring your your concerns, and you discuss it as adults, and you process things you don't understand. Even if you need a couple days to come back to it, you do that. Don't rush the other person, and don't take on one parent should not take on all the responsibility, because it's both of your responsibility to raise your child or your kids together, because we do not want society to raise our children for us. We have to set the foundation, solid, constructive foundation. Then society comes in, and we also going to be part of what society is teaching our children. The ones that are important and beneficial, our children, we encourage them to take it, and the ones that are not, we're going to make sure that we educate them to not even to throw those away. Culture, tradition. There are some things in our culture, Ghanaians, that is very beneficial. Learning to be respectful to ourselves, our children. That's an area that a lot of parents struggle with, respecting their children. They talk down on their children. They suppress a lot of things. They limit our children. We curse, like we don't talk negative, we don't talk positivity, we don't encourage our kids and compliment them. If a child goes to school and they bring the exam and they fail, instead of encouraging them and telling them and finding resources that will be able to help our child be able to pick up on in that subject, we're going to beat them down, and it's not right. It's not right. Being truthful is very important in our house home environment and their society. When they socialize outside, it's very important. We have to be honest to ourselves and to our children. We should not sugarcoat in any way, no matter the circumstances, because you don't want to embed that in your child, whereas your child will also lie on things, because when you lie and lie and lie, you can't catch up with it. At some point, you won't even know the lie that you told yesterday, and you're going to lie, and your children are not going to trust you. They're not going to come to you when they're struggling in school with hooking up with strangers or their peers, because their class youth, a lot of teenagers that are not focused on sex, they focus on their education. And because the parents have built a really healthy, solid structure, foundation for them, and have um, giving them has acquired a lot of knowledge and taught them a lot of things that they need to protect themselves when they're not there with them. And you have some society that their children are limited. Even in society, they are so limited that they're going to have other people being able to influence their thinking and decisions that they make out there. Parents, it's our responsibility to also educate ourselves. Go on social media, internet, explore to see things that are happening, for things that we lack of, in order for us to also educate. How I grew up and the things that I did not know and learn. Nowadays, there are so many things out there that our children, my 10-year-old, the things that he can pull off from the internet. I myself am educated, but there are some things that I learned from my 10-year-old and my 8-year-old. Our children know so much. It takes parents to pause, slow down. We telling our children to pause and slow down. We as parents also need to pause and slow down and teach ourselves. You start from baby steps. We're not going to know a lot of things one day, but we need to learn. to spend time with our children. Make sure that our children are comfortable coming to us to talk to us about things that bothers them or things that are happening in their school, because there are so many people out there that uh they don't have like our children's best interest. You have some adults, some teachers, some family members, some friends who are twisted in the mind, who are sick in the mind, and they see your child as a easy victim. They will victimize your child because you, the parent, you did not educate your child. You did not build a healthy, better foundation for your child from early age. All this hooking up or hookup culture will not even be an issue for parents who educate their children, who teaches their children, who give their children the information and the time that they need to even worry about. Because when our children are out there, we know that they can make the right decision. Even being put in a position, they will be able to make the best decision. Mistakes happens. Nobody's perfect. And when we make mistakes and we learn from it, that is the most important thing. Children who normally comes from abusive home, some of them will get into alcohol. They will start drinking because the drinking will be a form of numbing their feelings. So when you have a child who become addicted to alcohol, when you drink alcohol, your mind does not function normally, like being sober. So there are things that they may get themselves into, like having casual sex. So we have to be mindful, like, if you're a father or a mother and your spouse is abusive at home, psychologically, physically, emotionally, verbally, spiritually, you need to do something about it. Make sure that you get your partner the help that they need, and you do not subject your children into any abusive environment at home. um, Children that are abusive, that grow up in abusive environment, when they grow up and get into an abusive relationship or get with someone who have the same characteristics, because that is norm for them. So parents, we have to be on the same page all the time. Now we have social contract of hookup culture is considered, brief. It's always brief, feels of no emotion, so you do not get attached. Um, you do not get attached from anything. And it could start from kissing. Brother Uncle put it on to sex. And then I spoke of alcohol. Hookups seems to be associated with not having time to date, right? Or having time to get to know someone. There are a lot of sadness and a lot of shame, and also like abusive and suffering in hookup culture, because most youth, especially the females and women, are more regretful. They seem to regret down the line. Parents who restricted their children from dating, majority of the time, it plays a big role in the child's behavior outside the house, because most of the time what they are not being allowed to do uh, at home, when they go outside now, they will they will be more inclined to do that, because, well, during school time or after school, if they have to take the bus, well, buses comes at different times. Sometimes you have traffic and stuff. So you have a child that is smart and watching stuff on social media, webs of lies and deceptive and all that and that. They can find ways and means to go around it. Some children will use even going to the library. And believe me, they will go and borrow books. So when they come, they have books from the library. So how you know how long they spend in the library and how long that they were out hanging with a classmate or a friend or a friend's friends, hooking up. You never know. So the foundation at home is very important. We have to educate our children, being honest with our children. Children, and then also we do have parents that really like, they want to tell their children, okay, you can't do this, it's wrong, without any type of explanation. They stop listening. When you come to the aspect of Christianity, we talk to our children about abstinency, not having sex, you have to stay a virgin. And then when you get married, listen, um, at times we need to step outside of that and educate them. When you have sex, now sex, how do we define sex? A lot of teenagers do not realize oral sex is sex. You can so they think only intercourse is. You can have sex in different ways. Yeah, someone could even use their finger to do that. So there are ways and means that you can have sex. Just make sure that we explain things to our children. We take time to explain things to our children, and we shouldn't be giving stories about our children. They know a lot. They know a whole lot. My dear brother and Go Bright, welcome. Brother Alice K. Appear, welcome. Let me see. Open me, Ochi, I called you, but it didn't come through. Mama Messi said, well, I didn't see you and Mr. Lee after our sister Mama test finished. I couldn't see your name anymore. I couldn't find you. So near Mr. Lee Khan, education does start home. So we shouldn't limit our children from learning and teaching them a lot of things. What else I didn't talk about? Whatever principle. Okay. So when we go to embedding our children with the word of God, I mean, as a Christian, now I value the word of God. That's something that helps me be able to control certain things in my life. Taking control of it. So whatever principles we teaches our children, no matter what, they will grow up with it. What else? We all know, and from Wednesday, Sister Akosia Williams said, we know that sex is good. The dear the palm. Obi obeka se die nye de bia no ni patro no ni onimu die. Sex is good. It makes you feel good. And many times when our children go through body changes and that, we need to let them understand that it's normal. It is normal for them to feel certain ways. And we teach them how to get over it, how to learn to have self-control. Fathers and mothers, we need to be on the same page, and we need to balance things out, teaches our daughters and sons the same way. We shouldn't teach our daughters certain things and not teach our sons certain things, because it's the boys that are getting the girls pregnant. Men get women pregnant. Women don't get men pregnant. But also, parents, we need to teach our children, our daughters, not to make it easy by going outside and opening up their legs, because if a woman does not open, or our daughters do not open their legs, a man will not have the opportunity to enter. So that's something that we have to keep in mind. Nyamesuro, see a ma nyamesuro, and we mu any ma yedi etiti yemba. Not reality, so no, we tell them the reality. And yes, they be a the what's it near wako through no everything will pass wusa no and you may be a we ya uncle yama any DM a ma we yes men fa blame will be because at the end of the day no we now make his our choices no who you so sa decision no e de chere oba de. But overall, no, we have learned say the foundation at home in the beginning, in the early stages, is very important. And that's what's going to shape our children in making the right decisions out there when they go to school, middle school, high school, college, and finishing school and finding partners. So today, I will leave you guys here. Thank you to each and every one of you, Sister Gifty Efriye, Mama Tess, Mr. Lee, Pastor Kavna Ofori, Amwakohe, Brother Ankara, Woman of God, Beatrice Abuaji, and everyone who share their comments, their views, and also help for this program to generate and expand it. I want to thank each and every one of you, Sister Kosia Williams. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for taking time to come and spend time with me today. Today, my max sit the whole 4 hours. So, all my friends, family members who were able to tune in, I appreciate each and every one of you. As always, one love, positive energy, and hashtag critical thinkers. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself. And I see you guys next week. Tomorrow, I'm not going to come live. Tomorrow is Saturday. No power of music. So I love y'all. Bye. Forgot about here.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night.